meditating and pondering on the ways of the world today. Thinking of my people Africa and the state of the continent today. How mothers fed their children today. As granny goes down on her knees every day and prays. How many souls are dying from causes that could be prevented? If we did have leaders who cared for us today. Oh, 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 oh. Zion and Yahweh. Zion away. Zion away. Africa rise, every 4 years, the politicians say he's your servant today. After you vote for them, they metamorphose into your masters. I say, have your say, we'll have our way, yeah. Not no strange, it's cow demon crosses. Meanwhile, souls are dying from causes that could be prevented. If we did have leaders who cared for us today. Zion and Yahweh. Zion away. Zion away. Africa rise.
Oh, it can be great again. World turbulence among the politics. Never hypocrite, lava. Never ever quit, just a little bit longer. Victory is near, they're gonna disappear, go under. The leaders, them no care, never tend to share. Babylon quit, the shedding of blood. Your heart that goes over if you show no love. Stay away, righteousness. What we call the nation if for no righteousness. Just make sure the children live.
I pray for the future generation not to give up this fight. I pray for the children of tomorrow not to sell out their birthright. Cause when I look out far, I see the strangers eating up your food. Another form of slavery is coming here again. And that's why people are dying from causes that could be prevented. Oh yes, we do need some better leadership today. Oh, oh, oh. Zion and Yahweh. Zion away. Let's go. Zion away. Africa rise. As the day breaks, I see my people rising up again, shaking off all the shackles. I see my people shaking off those chains. The lion with the mane, blood of the slain will never be in vain.
Never.
No, no, no. We don't want to see no more people dying from causes
no,
that
I want it
prevented.
No more
bloodshed. Better leadership today.
I pray.
Oh, oh, oh. Zion and Yahweh. Zion away. Yes, indeed. 1212 Radio Culture. Ago nime na menananom nananoma himanyina Ghana funyina yecha one all Africa. Welcome to the weekend live stream. My name is Kwesi Eson Bako. Welcome to the show. Yes, indeed. On today's show, we have promised you 2 interviews. The interviews are going to be slightly different, and I'll explain. But on the first interview, we were supposed to speak with the Member of Parliament for Sunyani. No, I keep saying Sunyani. Techiman South. Radio Culture. Yes, indeed. His name is Martin J. Mensah Kosa. But I have to announce this. We are not able to speak with Martin J. Mensah Kosa today, and I will explain why in the course of the show. In place of that interview, however, we're going back to speak with Abdullah Ibrahima. Abdullah Ibrahima last week came on our show to allege that their community, which is the community of Fiaso, has been brutalized basically by operatives of national security. He told us about some incidents, including a young man who was shot in the hand and instead of giving him medical attention was put in police custody. We reached out to the Member of Parliament to get more details on this. Unfortunately, the Member of Parliament says that the matter is in court and he is afraid of contempt. Such nonsense. There's somebody in a police cell with a bullet in his hand. I'm surprised that young man is still alive, because to the best of my knowledge, that bullet has not been removed and he is in police cell. What is somebody doing in police cell for over 2 weeks? What kind of investigation is going on such that a Member of Parliament cannot at least make a statement for fear of being in contempt of court? Nonsense. And so we will be holding off on that interview. Like I said, we'll bring you another interview, after my first interview, and that will be with Abdullah Ibrahima, who is going to tell us more about that incident, that alleged brutality that's been meted out to their community, and also give us an update on what is going on with the young man who's in police custody and other matters. So our second interview will become our first interview. We will be going sub-regional. Benin, foiled coup. Burkina Faso, forced plane landing. What is that all about? Security in the sub-region. be talking about security in the sub-region. And who best than the man who has already appeared twice on our show to give us an in-depth look at what the politicians really mean by everything that they say and present to us. We're talking about security now, and we're talking about the former Deputy Minister for Defense. A man who rose from the ranks, through the ranks, to the higher echelons of the army, and also became a Deputy Defense Minister. His name is Major Retired Derrick Oduro. Major Derrick Oduro will be joining us to assess what is going on in our sub-region. And he's not coming alone. Radio culture. All right, excuse that. He is coming with our own, very own Dr. Kwadwo Oppong-Wadie, writer, Pan-Africanist, and he will also be putting in his angle on the same issue. Please stay with me. We are paneling up two of our very best guests so far, Major Retired Derrick Oduro and Dr. Kwadwo Oppong-Wadie, coming up very shortly. All this plus your agriculture, where we speak to the best farmer for the Mampong area, Dada Alex, and also on arts and culture, where the man called Synergy will bring us an update on what's going on in the area of the arts and culture. For now, let's go for a very short commercial break. When we come back, we go to our very first interview with Major Derrick Oduro and Dr. Kwadwo Oppong-Wadie. Please don't go away. We'll be right back.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on Walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
Radio culture. All right, we welcome back, and we are going straight to our very first interview. In the meantime, please scan the QR code up there somewhere. I think it should be over there somewhere on your screen, and get straight to our website for more content, for print and videos and everything. Also, we are live right now currently on www.ghnewsnow.com. We are also live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm not sure if we're live on TikTok. Newsroom, please let me know that through the chat so I can announce. But right now, we are going to go straight to our first interview of the day. Let's welcome Dr. Kwadwo Oppong-Wadie, writer, author, Pan-Africanist, and let's also welcome Major Retired Derrick Oduro, former Deputy Defense Minister for the Republic of Ghana. Gentlemen, you are welcome. Thank you very much for making the time for us today.
Thank you. Good to be here.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. So we're talking security in the sub-region. A lot has happened in the past couple, let's say, weeks. A forced landing in Burkina Faso, a botched coup in Benin, aided by a neighboring country. We're going to look at all of that. But before that, let's watch this very short video so we can put some context on it.
Military plane in western Burkina Faso has reignited tensions between Abuja and the Alliance of Sahel States, or AES. In a statement read by Burkina's Minister of Territorial Administration on public television, the AES said the plane was carrying 9 military personnel and did not have authorization to enter Burkinabe airspace. The alliance condemned what it called an unfriendly act that violated international law as well as civil and military aviation regulations. It warned that it has bolstered the security of its airspace and is ready to neutralize any unauthorized aircraft. The incident comes after Abuja sent military aircraft to Benin to defend the government from an attempted coup over the weekend. Nigeria says it was acting at the request of Benin's government and within the framework of ECOWAS mechanisms. There is a growing political divide between West African nations. The AES left ECOWAS in January, and trade between the two regional blocs has been suspended. The region has recently seen a string of military coups, most recently in Guinea-Bissau.
Okay. Major, please, let me start with you. You have been Deputy Defense Minister. That means you have an in-depth knowledge of what's going on in the sub-region so far. As we sit right now, how safe is the sub-region, Major Derrick Oduro?
Thank you, my big brother. And let me say good afternoon to all those of us who have been empaneled to talk on this issue this afternoon. Let me say good evening or good afternoon to all those who are watching us, who are listening to us this evening. Yeah, so far, so good. So far as the whole sub-region is not in turmoil, there's no breakdown or a state of disarray or confusion in all the sub-region, we say it's okay, comparatively. But it's not well with all other countries. Burkina Faso has staged a coup. Niger has staged a coup. Mali has also staged a coup. Earlier on, some years back, Guinea also had its military takeover. Now, Guinea-Bissau, there was a military coup there, and then the last one was the Benin. Unfortunately for the coup makers, they didn't survive. The government are calling our big brother Nigerians who went in to foil the coup, drop in some bombs, and then the coup couldn't succeed. And then a lot of arrests have been made in Benin. Before that, a lot of security experts had predicted that the sub-region should expect more coups. Why should they say that? Most of them were of the view that bad governance, corruption, insecurity, what the coup makers cite as reasons for toppling their governments are all prevailing in almost all the West African countries. And therefore, since ECOWAS cannot do anything about it to stop bad governance, corruption, and what I have already mentioned, then we should expect other countries to also follow suit. And therefore, they predicted that more coups will happen in West Africa. Lo and behold, the last one was Benin. Benin, which Nigerians made sure it didn't succeed. So, by estimation, by comparing the situation, we say that it's not very, very well with West African sub-region because of bad governance, which all of us are experiencing in the sub-region. And therefore, the earlier ECOWAS did something about it, the better it will stop all coups in West Africa.
Great. We'll get into the details of these things that you've mentioned, the Benin coup and all of that. But let's hear from Dr. Oppong-Wadie in the meantime. Dr. Oppong-Wadie, so in the sub-region, we see the AES, we see, Guinea and all these other examples that Major Retired has given. And now we are also seeing Benin, which wasn't a successful coup, but at the same time, it is an attempt regardless. What's your own assessment of security in the sub-region, taking all these coups and other factors into consideration, Doc?
Thank you, Empire. I just want to first say that, I want to extend my greetings to Major Oduro, and I also want to extend my greetings to all your viewers. I want to look at this a little bit from a more broader point of view. So there's something which has been happening in the world, and that is there is some consolidation of imperial powers. And by that I mean, if you look within the Americas, for instance, we have seen in the last, past weeks or so, the United States consolidating the Monroe Doctrine by, emphasizing that the territory of the Americas, particularly South Central and the Caribbean, are all America's territory, and therefore we see a buildup in the Caribbean of U.S. ships pointed at Venezuela, and also there has been some tensions with Colombia and Peru and other countries. Now, why am I saying this? We look at West Africa. In the past few years, we've seen that former French territories, such as Mali, such as Niger, such as Burkina Faso, have all sought to release the stranglehold of France on it. And as we have witnessed, Niger, which used to be classified as one of the 3 poorest countries in the world, when it released the stranglehold of France on it and decided to, renegotiate, not even renegotiate, just take control of its uranium, it's now set to be one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Now, why am I putting all this into context? I'm going to quote Dr. John Henry Clark, who says, in some stories, there are no good guys. Now, what do I mean by this? I'm now coming to Benin. France, and by extension, the colonial powers, even though we in Africa often think of ourselves as having gained independence, from their perspective, they never left. They just refined the whole process of independence. So, in other words, they see themselves as the ones who own and should control our natural resources. So the kind of independence that we got is a kind of nominal independence, so to speak. So France now, as we have seen, has gone through some economic crisis recently. And part of that crisis is also seen as a result of the release of that stranglehold from these countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and other countries which are taking a different stance. Now, why am I saying all this? This failed coup that happened in Benin, that Nigeria went in at the behest of France, right? France is the one who called Tinubu and said, there's a coup, I need you to do something about it. And Tinubu went in with the planes and hit the people who were staging the coup. Now, why does this raises a whole lot of questions, right? Tinubu, in what capacity did you strike Benin? Right? Did you strike as an ally of France, or as a member of ECOWAS, or as independently as the country of Nigeria, or in all three scenarios? Say it again.
Or as ECOWAS, because they could strike as a member or as ECOWAS itself.
Or as ECOWAS itself, right. So in which capacity? Also, why is he doing the bidding of France? This again goes back to the idea that France feels like it needs more African territory to to support its economy, right? So Nigeria comes in as a so-called partner now, which it can call on to strike Benin. Now, the whole idea that they've been putting forward is that they were restoring democracy, but that also can be questioned, because as we have seen in the past few years, the president of Benin, Talon, has sought to consolidate his power. He has extended, for instance, the what do you call this? The number of years someone can be president, right? He has extended it from 5 years to 7 years, right? He has quietly changed parts of the constitution to consolidate his power. He has extended a parliamentary mandate also to 7 years. And it was quite obvious that he was preparing the ground for his successor, the current finance minister, to take over next year, 2026, when elections are held. So I'm referring back to the quote that in some stories there are no good guys. You know, we have seen that places like Ivory Coast and Benin, strong allies of France, yet acting in ways that are contrary to principles of democratic governance. Yet France says nothing, right, and seeks to retain these people in power. And the question that has to be asked is,
democracy.
Why is France interested in maintaining these, I would say, these people who act unconstitutionally in these countries? And there's only one is because these countries are supporting the economies of France. So I'll pause here for right now, and we can
there's a whole lot to unpack there, and I hope that we can break some of it down as we go along, you know, bit by bit. But let's go back to something that you said about the strike on Nigeria, sorry, on Benin by Nigeria. Major, as a former defense minister, how do you read that? Does a country have the right to strike another country, a target in another country? Isn't there a clear violation of airspace, number one? Isn't there a clear violation of sovereignty, number two? Because if even if the order had come from the president who was, you know, beleaguered, then we would say, okay, it came from him. But here, we don't even know where the order came from. As Dr. Oppong-Wadie has suggested, it probably came from France. Because we have a country striking another country to prevent a coup. Is that legal? Is that okay? Is that acceptable, Major?
Yeah, thank you. We have a school of thoughts. One school says that every country has its own territorial integrity. It's a sovereign nation. And therefore, whatever happens in each other countries supposed to be their own business. They also have it that, and ECOWAS has also confirmed or has it as part of its protocol that non-interference in each other's country. And for peacekeeping, peace enforcement, or anything that has to do with any assistance to any country must be permitted by warring factions in that country. Not a faction, but warring factions in the country.
Both sides.
And therefore, if we see any country going to the aid of another country, all the warring factions or parties must all agree. Just like what we had in Liberia.
ECOMOG.
How we went to Sierra Leone. And therefore, if you go at the invitation of one party, you go and meet resistance. And therefore, it's suicidal. Now, what happened in Benin? It's the situation where military has taken over. They've announced their presence. They have overthrown the previous administration. They've given the reason why. They were to, so far as I know, they were to give so many reasons, but the first reason that came was a state of insecurity. their northern border, northern part of the country, had been encroached, had been taken over by terrorists. Just how Burkina Faso had its share, and therefore the government was not able to do anything about it, and then the military had been used as punching bags, being killed all the time, and the government refused to do anything about it. Again, they also said, even though the president was about to go in April, but he has appointed somebody to take over from him, and therefore it was unconstitutional, and therefore they had to come in. They didn't last. But once they have announced their presence and then they announced that they've taken over the reins of the government, if ECOWAS could go in at all, we should have a process of going in, but not one country, one superpower in West Africa, moving jet fighters to go and bomb the nation, the soldiers. Now, for how we got it, now they didn't see who were the coup makers. So they started bombing barracks and wherever soldiers had converged. When the soldiers staged the coup, there was no bloodshed. Nobody was killed, even though there were gunshots. But when the Nigerians went in, there were a lot of casualties. And then the coup makers couldn't stand it, and then they abandoned the scene and went away. So they went in before they called other countries to join them. This is what we see as against the ECOWAS protocol of non-interference in each other's country. This is how we see it. Otherwise, we can go on, and one day there will be problems. Look at what happened in Burkina Faso when ECOWAS countries, converged and said that they were going to attack Burkina Faso to dislodge them and give power to the previous administration. Now, little did they know that there were other world superpowers who were backing Burkina Faso. All these chief of staffs and then the military heads converged in Ghana, trying to put things together to attack Burkina Faso. Before we could say, according to intelligence report, Burkina Faso had targeted all the military institutions, military installations in Ghana, down to even the coast. So if we had gone, if we had expedited our action, Ghana would have been in flames, because who knows who were supporting the Burkina Faso. So before you move in to dislodge somebody from his own home, you have to be very careful. Otherwise, one day you fall foul to the law. ECOWAS protocol doesn't allow interference in other people's country until you are fully invited, until the whole ECOWAS country meets to take decision as to the way forward. As to what happened, a school of thought think that it wasn't well with that intervention by Nigeria.
We will unpack more of that also. But let me ask you back, Dr. Oppong-Wadie. Are you particularly surprised by the silence of the sub-region? Let's say that. After another country moves in, bombs another country, that should spark an uproar. I would expect that the leaders within the whole sub-region would be raising concern about this. Because imagine, today is Benin, right? But imagine another time Nigeria or any other country has any reason at all to move into another country and bomb people and move back. They have set a precedent, which I see the whole entire sub-region looking the other way from. Does that shock you?
No, because most of the leaders in the sub-region protect themselves by forming alliances with the former colonial powers. Now, you may also recognize that less than a month ago there was a so-called coup d'etat in Guinea-Bissau. Notice that the response of ECOWAS to the situation in Guinea-Bissau is very different from how they responded to the situation in Benin. In Guinea-Bissau, it was almost like we didn't hear any Nigeria going into Guinea-Bissau and striking Guinea-Bissau and restoring the government that had been overthrown. In fact, there was mostly silence. I mean, there was talk in the media and stuff like that, but ECOWAS did not act in the manner it did in Benin. And to quote Massa Kwesi Pratt, he says that these people, the heads of state in West Africa, are a club who seek to protect themselves. So hence the silence that we are witnessing. But there's also another dimension that Nigeria needs to be questioned and held accountable for, is the fact that, according to them, they go into Benin to restore quote unquote democracy, which we know is fallacious. But in that process, according to Nigeria, their plane, military plane, carrying 9 military men with some generals on board, on its way to Portugal, strays into Burkina Faso. Now, there could have been some understanding if your plane says straight into the eastern part of Burkina Faso, which is closer to Benin. Are your plane straight all the way to Bobo Dioulasso? Bobo Dioulasso is in the western part of Burkina Faso. And apart from that, the Portuguese have denied having any information that Nigeria military was on its way to Portugal, right? Thirdly, how come Nigeria entered into the airspace of Burkina Faso without informing Burkina Faso that, our plane is having some troubles, we're on our way to Portugal and it's an emergency, we need to land in your territory? Nothing like that. So all these scenarios raise a lot of suspicion about Nigeria's role in this whole thing. Are they acting on France's behest and on France's behalf to topple so-called regimes across the West African region who have come in through coups? So to answer your question, the silence of the leaders of the West African states is in protection of their own selves. It's not based on principle, it's not based on anything else. And to your point, that is setting a very bad precedent, considering the fact that Benin seems to have received a very different response from the response that ECOWAS and its member states have given to the same situation that occurred in Guinea-Bissau a few weeks ago.
Okay, we'll come back to that because everything is connected. The forced plane landing, the botched coup, and all of that to me are connected. But yes, but Major, let's come back to you. How important is Benin as a security zone? Let's put it that way. How important is Benin? Why would France? Of course, Doc has already shown us the economic importance of Benin to France, but as a security outpost, if we can call it that, how important is Benin to France, to the point where they would order Nigeria to proxy strike them? How important is Benin?
Yeah, if all what we are hearing, all the intelligence we are gathering is anything to go by, if Nigerians were ordered by France to intervene in Benin, then it will mean that France has lost Burkina Faso. France has lost Mali, as well as Niger.
Yeah.
And therefore, if they sit down for another colony to also get out of their hands, then there will be nowhere. But they could use an ECOWAS country. That is for proximity's sake. They share common border with Benin, and therefore Nigeria could just fly less than 2 minutes to bomb, and then they had the power also to do it. And therefore, if they were instigated or ordered by France to go, it's a bad example to set. Now, if we are not very careful, what Kwame Nkrumah termed as neo-colonialism is prevailing now, but now with a different approach. It is not the people in the country who are taking over from their colonial masters, and then they are practicing the same behavior the colonialists were doing, but rather another country, another superpower, imposing its superiority on another country, which is weaker according to the way they pose themselves. So if France is now a colonial master to Benin, is using another country, it's the same way Kwame Nkrumah described as neo-colonialism. They won't come direct, but they will use your own people to work against you. Who said that the reason that Benin gave as insecurity, terrorists approaching from the north, the terrorists, where are they coming from? Are they not coming from Nigeria, Boko Haram? They receive their training over there. That's their training ground. And then they push them to the Sahel regions. Why can't Nigeria stop them? They are still there. And they are bleeding. They are increasing the enemy camp. And therefore, if you cannot deal with the situation in your own country, why should you go and attack other country when they use that one as the reason, the main reason why they are toppling their government as insecurity?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why can't they bomb Boko Haram? They say where they can cross into somebody else's territory to bomb them.
Yes.
It couldn't be more dangerous to bomb Boko Haram than to bomb another country, because the other country has a military and an air force too, which can, counter your move. Whereas Boko Haram has limited powers when it comes to airstrikes, as far as I'm concerned, unless, of course, there's something going on in the back we don't know. But let me ask you, again, before we bring Doc back in, Major, please, briefly, in terms of security, you've already mentioned Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali. That is a solid block, which is actually also connected together. Benin somehow could also be connected to this block. So if the coup had prevailed, that would have extended the territory of the AES, which the ECOWAS is opposed to. Tinubu, as head of the ECOWAS, or at least as one of the key members of the ECOWAS, would argue that they're trying to prevent that on behalf of ECOWAS. How do you react to that? Major, please, before.
Come again.
So I'm saying that Benin would have, okay, so let's look at it this way. Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, that's a solid block within what used to be the ECOWAS, right? That's breaking away now. Now, if the coup in Benin had succeeded, that would not only have the potential that they would have joined the AES, right? By which means they would have increased their landmass and also gained a seaport, by the way. So how do you see the argument that Tinubu may make that he was acting on behalf of the ECOWAS to sustain the sovereignty of ECOWAS as a bloc and preventing the AES from taking more territory, which is something we all know they are opposed to? What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, all of us are aware that the terrorists don't have access to the Gulf of Guinea. They don't have access to the sea. And therefore, they are struggling to they push through Ivory Coast. They couldn't get their way. They pushed through Togo. They couldn't force their way through. Ghana is no-go area for them. And therefore, they would wish that they have avenue to get to the sea so that they can transport their heavy equipment, machinery, war machinery to the Sahel regions. And they have not had their way very, very easy. So if they had succeeded and were able to convince the Benin regime that they could have had easy access to the sea. But what is the guarantee that if the coup had succeeded, they were going to join terrorists? Maybe they were going to join Sahel regions who have broken away from ECOWAS. First, it was ECOWAS that suspended them. It was ECOWAS that sanctioned them. And they said, okay, take your ECOWAS. We'll form our own sub-regional bloc. That is the Sahel regions. And therefore, they did it. Now, ECOWAS, it looks like ECOWAS wants to beg them to come back, which they say over their dead body. But they are sovereign nations. They are not part of the terrorist group. In fact, they were fighting terrorists. Their country, their former government could not sustain the fight, the incursion, the terrorists were pursuing. That is why they overthrew their government. And therefore, they haven't given in to terrorists. And therefore, Benin wouldn't have also gone to join the terrorist group, but rather the military regime countries. That was why they were going to join. So having access to the sea wouldn't mean that the terrorists will have access to the sea. No, but Sahel regions will also have access to the sea through Benin. That is all right. If somebody mentions that, that is okay. But already, they are in good terms with Ghana. Burkina Faso is in good terms with Ghana. Ghana has even come out with a special envoy to handle the Sahel regions. And therefore, they have access to sea. All their importations and then their exports pass through Ghana. They don't have any problem in accessing the Gulf of Guinea or the sea. And therefore, the reason for these people to attempt or to topple their government might not mean that they were being influenced by the Sahel regions, but they are also pursuing their own agenda, their own country's agenda. And if they have succeeded, obviously, we would know that they would have maybe joined because of the uniformity. They are all military regimes. So they could have locked arms together, they could have joined hands together to form another alliance or bloc. Thereby, it will also mean that then ECOWAS is flopping, ECOWAS is collapsing. That is why ECOWAS countries are not happy with what is happening currently, my brother.
Thank you very much, Major. Doc, let me bring that question back to you and let's flesh it out a little more. So we are looking at it. I started by asking how safe is the region, right? It doesn't look to me like, it looks like we are kind of massaging the issues over there because we see the influence of China in the region. China is not coming in through aggressive means. China is coming in through infrastructure. China is building huge infrastructure in Benin at the moment. They really have an interest in there, even though they are not showing too much of their cards at the moment. We also have world powers like Russia, right? With their team in there, Burkina Faso, all that region. We also have France, obviously, who have been there forever and are now struggling to stay. And then we have almighty United States of America, who are also very interested. That's a collision of powers. But we have to make it look like it's okay. How do you feel? What's going on there?
Thank you, Empire. So there's a lot in here. So for instance, let's begin by looking at, let's start with China. So as you pointed out, China has been a quiet operator on the West African scene, focusing on infrastructure and gaining power through its relationships with the governments in West Africa. The United States obviously sees that as a threat, and as a result, it also is seeking some kind of foothold in the West African region and has established bases all across West Africa, as you know. Now, there is the case of the Alliance of Sahelian States, aligning themselves with Russia, right? Away from the Western powers. And Ukraine also coming out to say that they are supporting the terrorists in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger as a way of fighting a proxy war against Russia. So just this past week, the United States released a document, strategic document, 2025. I think the document is called strategic document, strategic plan, or whatever. And in the strategic plan, they emphasize two things about Africa. That is, they want their relationship with Africa to be transactional, which means that not based on aid as it has been in the past, but everything has to be based on transactions, exchange, whatever. And the second thing is they want access to Africa's natural resources. So all I'm saying here is that we can see proxy wars between the United States and China on one end, occurring in West Africa. We can see proxy wars between Ukraine and Russia playing out in West Africa. We can see a new player who is also operating kind of silently, that is Turkey, also coming in, right? So there is a situation where different interests are competing in West Africa, and that brings us back to the question of ECOWAS. Where does ECOWAS stand? We can look at ECOWAS's stance by casting our minds back to history a little bit. When Niger first staged the coup, ECOWAS threatened Niger with bombing it back to the Stone Age if they did not restore the previous government back to power. Now, it was very obvious then that ECOWAS was acting on behalf of the United States and France. So based on that historical precedent, the question also needs to be asked. What is the role of ECOWAS today, and who are they working on the behest of, considering the current context of coup d'etats, particularly in Benin, and putting all that in context. So the situation is complex, to put it in mild terms, but it also behoves that as African people, we need to see these things and we need to address these things. Most of us are not even aware of these happenings. We are not thinking about how these countries see our locations, our resources, as something that they should have. And this is why I began by saying that ever since the colonial period, in fact, since the Berlin Conference, right, these powers have seen Africa's resources as theirs. And even though independence was granted, they have still maintained a stranglehold on our resources as we speak, whether it is oil, whether it is gold, whether it is lithium. Ghana just abrogated a lithium deal because of all the controversy surrounding it. But the thing is, when we look across the board, all the resources that we have, how much do we make? 9%, 10%. If we're good, 12%, right?
We calculate at 13%.
Right. But in fact, even this lithium thing that was going on, and people were arguing for 10%. There were some people in Ghana saying that Ghana should get 5% because that's what is, it says that our natural resources should only accrue 5% to our country. So they were actually saying that the 10% is okay. Because even according to what we usually get is 5%. So why don't we take 10%? But the question is, can Ghana, for instance, go to Britain and say, you know what, I'm going to come buy your resources, but you only get 10% or 9%. So if we don't begin to look at these situations from a position of equity, then we're always going to be at the end, the wrong end of the stick, so to speak. And all these international conflicts going on, and the role in which we are being made to play should also be brought into context, because what happened with Nigeria striking Benin is not just Nigeria which decided to go and strike Benin. And as both of you have pointed out, eloquently, how come? I can think back. I think Boko Haram has been there for at least 15 years,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
How come Nigeria has not been able to send 3 fighter jets to northern Nigeria and obliterate Boko Haram? Because either the government itself is invested in Boko Haram, or there is a foreign power financing and supporting Boko Haram that the government does not want to offend. There's got to be some kind of question and answer situation regarding that. So, in conclusion, I want to say that we should look at the West African situation not just as a situation that is evolving in West Africa alone, but we should also look at it from the point of view of the role that the powers of the world are playing in it, and how we should react based on that.
And this issue that you just brought up, back in the day, I used to wonder, because you would see images of Boko Haram parading a fleet of Toyota Hilux trucks. And I'm like, cars have chassis numbers.
Yeah.
It should be easy to trace vehicles.
Easy.
Right?
Easy.
But you see these so-called terrorists with state-of-the-art vehicles, like, as we say in Ghana, tear rubber,
Yeah.
Hilux trucks.
They have boats, empires. They have boats that they put on rivers and water bodies. They have like boats. How are they getting all these things? The government should be able to track the financial sources, the sources of finance of Boko Haram, and deal with it. But obviously that's not happening. Just recently we saw that the defense minister of Nigeria had to quote unquote resign. And the question has to be why? Why is he resigning at this crucial time? So there are more questions than answers, but these are
not more questions than there are answers.
About.
Thank you very much. As we wrap up, let's bring the discussion back home. Major, so we as Ghana, right? We have somehow, some people are praising our government, and by government, I'm not just talking about this current government, but how we have handled the issue so far. When the AES broke away and all of that, they were not too friendly with Ghana. But right now, as you stated not too long ago, they seem to be on a friendly note with Ghana. Does that assure some level of security for us at all in Ghana, Major?
Yeah, my brother. If you don't have any problem with your neighboring country, if you don't have any quarrel with your next door neighbor, you can sleep and snore. If Ghana thinks that whatever the previous administration did by assembling all the military heads in Ghana to plan and go and attack Burkina Faso was not in good taste, and therefore Ghana borders with Burkina Faso. Terrorists are just at the fringes of Ghana, and if they don't do anything, the new government doesn't do anything to stop the influx, the pushing in, the drifting down of the terrorists, then Ghana will not survive, and therefore they thought it wise to be in good terms with Burkina Faso. So special envoy was appointed to deal with that, and then Ghana is in good terms, very, very good terms with Burkina Faso, and they know that we are not next door neighbors. We don't want terrorists to enter our country. Burkina Faso government doesn't also want terrorists in itself. They are still driving them away. So we are all heading towards the same angle. We have the same bearing, and therefore we are in good hands. Now, if we think that the Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali are also in alliance, then being in alliance with Burkina Faso means that we are in alliance with the other two countries. And therefore, the link is there. The link is there. But is that the interest of the superpowers? Superpowers have permanent interest. They don't have permanent friends.
True.
Now the thing has changed from acquiring only raw materials for their industries. Help us to build our industries. It's not coming. They say, bring your raw materials. We'll produce and sell to you at higher prices. Now what they know that they've captured that market because we don't have the industries. Now the natural resources is what they are aiming at. West Africa sub-region is abound with a lot of minerals. And therefore, what their interest is now is to come and get all this. We've taken all other means to acquire our minerals, to get our minerals away by investing and giving us a very low rate because we don't have the machinery to exploit them. That is what they are doing now. And therefore, if you go against what they want from you, then they make sure that if your people are coming against you, your own nationals are saying that bad governance, corruption, these things are going on, that they want to get against you, they will use your own sub-regional country to attack you, to make sure that you don't achieve your aim. This is what is pertaining now. And this is what others, security experts are thinking about. But we think that ECOWAS countries should solve the problem of the bad governance and other issues that are going on, which will permit military takeovers, military topping the country's government. And then we call it as undemocratic. Make sure we solve all this problem. But if it is a club, as my brother said, ECOWAS countries have formed the presidents have formed a club, and therefore whatever each person is doing, they won't talk about it. Whether good or bad, they won't talk about it. But they are not the sovereign people. All the people in the various countries they have the power, and they have the power to topple their government if they are not doing the right thing. So if it's a club and they are satisfying their club members, they are going the wrong way. They should make sure that they advise their club members to make sure that the right thing is done in every country, every ECOWAS country. Advise them. If you are going wayward, look at what is happening in Ivory Coast. You check you want to stay in power for years that you think. Then ECOWAS will come in and advise the previous administration that lost the election. Now you have come to the throne and you have changed the constitution 2 times to benefit you. And ECOWAS hasn't seen anything wrong with it. Togo, the same thing. So ECOWAS countries should make sure that they advise their club members, the presidents, because the presidents are administering people in their own country who are not happy with the way they are going about things. You solve those problems. ECOWAS countries should make sure that they solve the problem of insecurity in the sub-region. Boko Haram, they have to stop them. They have to make sure, put all resources together, and then make sure that they stop them from their eastern corridor, so that they will not bleed more Boko Harams in the various countries to come and attack. Otherwise, countries, armies, or military will make sure that terrorists should not come and take over their nation. And that will be another way of toppling the African or West African governments, my brother.
Thank you very much. I have one more question for Doc. But before Doc, I want you to please chip this in real quick for me. You are in a very peculiar position. You have been in the military. You have also been a politician. So you know both types of governance. Tell me, why do military people feel like every time something is not going well, they have the responsibility to step in and correct it? Did they teach you that at military school or something? Every time something is not going right, I mean, the military feels like they have a sacred duty to come in and restore order. Why is that? I'm not saying it's
Okay.
I just want to know.
Yes. You see, military has no business in taking over any government once the country is a democratic, practice democratic dispensation. Every country has put in its constitution that no military takeover. Democracy must prevail. The only time you see military taking over is when the country has failed, has become a failed state. There's a total anarchy. People are dying, bloodshed. Politicians are killing themselves. Then the military has the duty to come and stop the carnage. That is the only time military can come in. But these days, I always have been saying that soldiers don't make coups. They don't make military coups. But politicians, civilian politicians, induce military to take over because of the way they behave physically and personally. They approach military top hierarchy to stage coups and then hand over. But when the military comes on top, they see that, yeah, it's not easy to hand over that way. So you ask them, when are you going to hand over? They will ask you to hand over to whom? They won't hand over. They will stay and stay and stay until when they are satisfied. So military doesn't plan. Actually, gone were the days when it was a fashion. Nigeria will stage a coup. Then the following year, Ghana will also stage. Then they were interchanging like that. These days, the democracy has come to stay. But it's because of the prevailing situation, the reasons that they are getting, like as I have said, that insecurity is what they are using now. Change of the constitution to stay longer is also another charge. Then the political persecution. Political persecution, they are prosecuting their opponents. That is another source of or good reason why soldiers will see that, yeah, the country, there's no peaceful in the country. There's no peace in the country. So all these things are come to the fore. And then soldiers will take advantage of that. But what is happening is political mistakes that the politicians do. Then insecurity. All this thing will come together. The military will come in. But they will be induced. They will be induced and influenced by the politicians, my brother.
Okay. All right. I'll come to you for your last words, Major. But let me give Doc the opportunity for his last question. Doc, so now with what Major has just said, you know, and all that, let's look at democracy really is. Because people, I mean, Nigeria went in to restore democracy in their eyes, in the eyes of the Beninese people or the Beninois people, who are the actual, who should be the actual people determining how they should be governed. In their eyes, they did not have democracy, which is why there was a military coup. So both sides are claiming lack of democracy, if you will. So take that before we go.
Sure. I think we need to cast our minds back to Nigeria itself. And
Doc, sorry to butt in here, but please add to that this for me. Is it very necessary for us to align with this structured so-called democracy that has been imposed on us? Every 4 years or every how many ever years go, is it necessary to align with that to govern ourselves? Please throw that in for me. And sorry for
all right. So you know, we got to cast our minds back to Nigeria itself. I think that the last Nigerian elections that were held were by and large seen as questionable in terms of the outcome, right? And I think that is something that is happening in a lot of West African countries where people have lost faith in the so-called democratic process, because the whole idea was that if this is our power, that's the people's power, and they vote for this person, then that person should be the one who should be in the lead. But we also know that more often than not, apart from the constitutional changes that are made by places in countries such as Togo and Ivory Coast and others, the elections, by and large, as we just saw in Cameroon, are rigged. So people are actually tired of the so-called democratic process because they know that, they may feel one way and then the outcome is also going to be one way. And therefore, it begs the question, how can Nigeria, which is questionable in terms of its democratic credential, seek to restore democracy in another country, right? So that is that. But to your other point, should we import the democratic systems of the West and practice in our countries? I say absolutely not. Now, why? Because the democratic systems of the West are born out of the culture and understandings of the people of the West.
The needs also.
Say it again.
The needs also.
Absolutely, and the needs as well. And we as Africans also have our own culture and also our understandings, right? And our democracy should be fashioned with those cultures and understandings and needs, as you put it, in mind. So far, it seems like we just got the Westminster model or the American model and just brought it to our countries. Now, even in terms of being able to be impactful, 4 years for African countries really is not enough time for any government to really make any lasting impact. That is something that if we were to go by the way our understandings are, we would see that for our needs, we need to have a more extended period of time and other things, not just the needs, but even the structure of the whole thing. How do we structure our systems to be able to reflect the understandings, the needs, the culture of the people? So yes, it's good to have a society that is looking at people power by voting and stuff like that. But at the same time, that system should not be one that is able to be rigged by the powers that be. And also it shouldn't be one that is simply one that has been taken and just brought into our environment without consideration given to our peculiar ways of doing things and our peculiar needs and our peculiar understandings.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kwadwo Oppong-Wadie. Now, before we go, Major, I will give you a quick minute to give us your final words.
Yeah. You talk about the democracy in Africa. If we want to draw ourselves down to West Africa, a democracy in Africa is the same as democracy in West Africa, and the same as democracy globally. Now, democracy has different kinds of freedoms. Freedom of worship, freedom of association, freedom of all freedoms. And we have rule of law. So all the tenets of democracy are all there. But you see, it looks like when other governments come to power, they think that democracy is theirs and not for other people. So they overdo things. And if you challenge, if you go against what they think is the democracy, then you are taught a big lesson. You are arrested, try to find a fault with you and try you, at times jail you. Whether you have committed anything or not, they try and force against. So the democracy in Africa doesn't triumph well. It looks like we are running ahead of the democracy, where somebody's freedom ends, another starts from that place. So if you think that freedom is for you alone and not for any other person, you are wrong. So if we want democracy to triumph very, very well in Africa or in West Africa, we should follow the tenets. We should all make sure that what is good for the goose is good for the gander. Otherwise, democracy will be seen as just rhetoric and not practical.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Major. And last words, Doc, before we go, please. Dr. Oppong-Wadie, your last words, please, before we go. Oh, I don't know if we have lost Dr. Kwadwo Oppong-Wadie. Let's bring him back for his last words. Guys, let's see if we can add. Doc, are you still there? Okay, we seem to have lost him. So thank you all the same, Dr. Kwadwo Oppong-Wadie, writer, Pan-Africanist, educationist here in the United States. And thank you very much, Major Retired Derrick Oduro. Now, Major, kwabna na oye kweku. Me sure so be mu ba.
O say,
oye kwabna na so oye kweku.
Yaw.
Oh, meeting. Next time. Every time, yeah, from Mrs. What you work, I mean, himself, or nice sequence, or will be the shower for nice sequence. So, still, you made it for us. We really appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much for joining us on today's show.
Okay.
All right. We'll talk to you later, sir. Thank you very much. Okay. So, wow, what a riveting discussion with former Deputy Defense Minister, Major Retired Derrick Oduro, and writer, Pan-Africanist, educationist, Dr. Kwadwo Oppong-Wadie on security in the sub-region. That's the West African sub-region. We're going to go for a short commercial break. Say, Babaka, we have another interview for you. As I said, we're going back to our guest from last week to learn more about the alleged brutalities by national security operatives on the people of Fiaso. Please stay. We will be right back after this short commercial break.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on Walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
fire burn them. Red lava done them. Diarrhea run them. The wrath of God upon them.
I am your thief, yourselves on fire. You're killing people every day. Anytime you open your mouth, up here lie, you're leading my people astray.
Government by family and friend, corruption never end. Are you tell us said you are God sent, but when we turn around the bend, you thieving with a pen. Coffee with family, and I struggle for fed. And when you come after we, like the cock on the end. What a pity when we sell our dignity as men. Politicians them attack we from the rear end. Leave it to a dead end. And the fake preacher telling I and I feel repent. With the money in my pocket is the mountain I get. And when the gap are ever widen, fences can mend. So this question I send.
Where the money there? 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 Where the money there?
And me say where the money there?
I don't know.
Whoa, oh, at the fire bonding. Until they change their mind, the wrath of God upon them.
Through your lies and deception, wrong education, you're poisoning yourself one way. But when the church and the state collaborate to keep us in slavery.
And by the ballot and the bullet, they put their gun to the head. Them say you have the right to talk, but talk too loud and you dead. It's like them have a different system for the leader and the leader. Hurt the run red. So get the youth bounce rise and show them how things be run. If them can't do it, come and make we show them how we done. And we now no more room for them like them days are gone. Up your fire burner. What I mean say?
Where the money there? 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 Where the money there?
And me say where the money there?
I don't know.
Where the money oh?
I don't know.
So where the money dey? Hiding in the Cayman Islands. So where the money dey? Invested in foreign lands. So where the money dey? Me personally, I don't know. So where the money dey? Where the money dey oh? And I mean say hot a fire burn there. Red lava done them. Diarrhea run them. And the wrath of God upon them. Until them change their mind. Wrath of God upon them. But for people plan, wrath of God upon them.
Mbaskayo!
Sikana way.
Nakudi!
Okay, welcome back to the show. Thank you very much for staying. Unfortunately, we've been trying to reach Abdullah Brahima, who was supposed to speak with us about the Fiaso issue. He is not reachable at this time. I hope nobody's threatening him or anything like that, which is why he's not picking up, because we are going to be, we have our eyes on that issue. We're not backing down. Next week, we're going to come back on the show. We're trying to get human rights activist Moses Fo Amoni to join us on the show next week to discuss these things. Why, first of all, did the military, or not the military, the national security outfit invade the town of Fiaso? Why? I still don't have a clear reason why. From all the information that's trickling down, I still have not been able to pin down why. And also, why has somebody been shot, but instead of getting medical attention, the person is in police custody? Why? What are the human rights implications? What is the government's response to these things? Next week, if the MP still does not want to talk to us, well, he didn't say he didn't want to talk to us. Let me get that clear. He did not refuse to talk to us. He said he doesn't want to be in contempt of court. And also he does not, the issue is in court, he says, so he doesn't want to, he's going to wait. So hopefully we get to speak to him at some point, even though I think that as a member of parliament, you should at all times be ready to speak up for your constituents without being necessarily in contempt of the court. So some court and just say untimi nkabio, but it's just a man can't say maybe court. No, that's what it means. So you can come up and at least explain why what's going on in Fiaso is going on. As we speak, the people of Fiaso voted for a member of parliament who says he's scared of the court and so cannot speak for them. I don't know what that means. But anyhow, let's go now for agriculture. Are you ready? Friend of this platform, Dada Alex, won the best farmer in his area. Whole lot of brouhaha. I don't know why. But we are going to address that issue. And if you remember, last week I said something about that guy who was, that clown who said he will not talk to us anymore because of whatever reason, and then was making fun of the Nkokon Kitty concept, right? And was like, quack, 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 whatever, making a clown of himself. And I said something. If the government institutes a policy and you want to make fun of that policy and you want to talk nonsense about the policy, and someone else takes advantage of the policy, how do you come back and say that person is whatever it is you are claiming he is? Let me leave that for agriculture. Let's bring on Eko Bakun. Rootsman is going to take over from me to interview. Rootsman, please position your camera properly. Let's get like a mug shot-ish of you, if you can, please. Thank you very much. And we, as soon as Rootsman is ready, we will bring him on. And we also have Dada Alex, best farmer, over 200 acres of maize farm. Wow. You know what? Metia Planke was our show at the end, because we have so many questions for Dada Alex. But this is agriculture, and that's Rootsman's show. So Rootsman, please take over, and let's bring on Dada Alex. I am going to jump off, but I'll be in the back. I'll come on at some point with a couple questions for you, Dada Alex. Thank you very much. Rootsman, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Kwesi. Welcome once again to Agriculture on iCulture TV. And today, like Kwesi said, we are lucky to have an award winner, a young, handsome man who has delved into agriculture and ultimately won the Municipal Best Farmer Award. So we will going to welcome on board Dada Alex. I think I'll let him introduce himself and tell us a little bit. We take it out from there. So once again, you are welcome. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we take it out from there. Hello? Hello?
No sound.
Dada Alex, can you hear him? I heard you say no sound. Can you hear us?
Yeah, hello? Can you hear me now? Hello.
No sound.
Please check your settings. We can hear you. I can hear you clearly. Paul, Ruthwa, you can hear him, right?
I only hear no sound, and that's it.
Yes, but yeah, so that's what I mean. We can hear him. Let's see.
Hello. Yeah, that Alex, can you hear me now, please?
Let's go for a short commercial break and see if we can fix this real quick. Guys, don't go away. We'll be right back with Rootsman and
that break and then yes,
right after this.
Blood of the slain will never be in vain.
Never.
No. We don't want to see no more people dying. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Whoa. Zion Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi Bako when the occasion calls for it. You are watching KULCHA TV. Keep it locked. KULCHA TV. Africa from African perspective.
Okay. Guys, if you can hear me, please unmute your mics. That Alex, what's your Hello, that Alex. Hello. Oh boy, what is going on today? And I don't know if it's muted on your end though, that Alex. Newsroom, please, if you can, send a message to that Alex. Tell him to unmute his mic. I'm not sure if you can hear me from this end. Rootsman, you can hear me though, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. And can you hear me too?
I can hear you clearly. And I can actually hear that Alex as well. I don't know what's going on his end.
That Alex, can you please hear me? Hello? Hello?
Oh boy, this.
Hello, that Alex.
Radio, culture.
Okay, let's see if we can. I don't know how to do this because. Are you able to call him? If you can call him via audio, at least we can have him speak. Hopefully that will come through, and then we can. I'm not sure how this. Hold on a second. I think let's see if we can. That Alex, are you able to hear us? Okay, we'll be right back. Let's go for a short commercial break again. I think I figured out what's going on. We'll be right back.
I think it's something to do with the mic. His mic should be.
He's muted. He's muted, and I don't think he's getting the message to unmute. Newsroom, please take care of that. Get to him and ask him to unmute his microphone, please. Meanwhile, let's go for that commercial break. We will be right back.
Welcome to Tucson Hotel, your ultimate home away from home. Located in the serene town of Ejisu Ichakrum, just off the Jabin Road, we offer you a haven of comfort and luxury. Step into our fully air-conditioned 40 bedrooms, where modern elegance meets convenience. Whether you choose our normal, standard, deluxe standard, or executive rooms, each one is equipped with Wi-Fi and DSTV, ensuring that you stay connected and entertained throughout your stay. Indulge your taste buds at our exquisite bar and restaurant, where our skilled chefs prepare a wide range of culinary delight to satisfy every palate. From local delicacies to international favorites, we have something for everyone. Planning a business meeting or a special event? Look no further than our state-of-the-art conference hall. With a capacity to accommodate 80 to 100 people, it is the perfect venue for your corporate gatherings or social celebrations. But that's not all. We proudly boast the largest recreational center in the Ejisu municipality. With a capacity to accommodate up to 2,000 people, it is the ideal location for concerts, weddings, and other grand events. It comes with 4 fully air-conditioned bedrooms and a kitchen as one package. Our luxury cars are also available for rent. Drive like a boss. To experience true hospitality and unmatched comfort, contact us today. Our friendly staff is ready to assist you. You can reach us at 0244 654 458, 0246 505 327, or 0241 418645. You can also email us at info@tucsonhotel@gmail.com. Tucson Hotel, your home away from home.
All right, and we are back, and I hope so now we can get that Alex fully on right now. That Alex, can you hear me?
Yeah, Rusty.
Police, please check and see if he can hear you also.
Yeah, and can you hear me too?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. Now we're going to apply status.
Okay, so yeah, once again, welcome to iCulture TV. Like I said in my introduction, I'll leave the main introduction for you to do yourself. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we delve into the actual agricultural issues.
All right. My name is Obin Alexander, popularly known as Dad Alex. I won the Mampong Municipal Best Farmer 2025. And then I am into animal farming, crop farming, cashew farming, as well as cocoa farm as well. So mainly that is the 4 main agric that I practice.
Before we go on, just out of curiosity, if you don't mind, you bet me level of education.
Oh, okay. All right. NT Mikra HND or Kumasi Technical University. That time they keep only. NT.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe shall we, because most of the time, fancy equipment or for prefix service will be a one course school than a demo and a year. It's because of a non maybe shall we. This year I know you go into what you are doing, Ankasan. With the cabo bosso, Kakanga granting, after the Ubetumusio, more than you. The way Ankasankasa, if I say, in fact, crops and they say, probably we can talk about acreages.
For now, no.
Animals, also numbers. Yeah.
Okay. For now, the immediate best farmer, CCA, you know, make plantain. That's body, me 20 acres. Me buy and so 15 acres. And me bunch there 5 acres. And me a brew main season. Any main season no any awiade no okani nyina boma 240 acres because 120 per season biana me year this year. And me cry a monso 60 acres. And as this year me no kasa pesa oba emwa ediemwa me cry poultry farmer me wo capacity of 20,000 per CCA. I know say, but me wo other one so and also some chairs but and only new the MDJ best farmer this year no. So and I'm one entry. Me know say my entry HM 160. Me one punching 50 and I'm one 9 to 30. And sana local base name and kakra ka ho. Nti mainly near me wo mu a me yem wadwuma sisi e no no.
That's really encouraging because acreages, and you're bad. Looking at you, we're a young guy. And I say at this stage, in what to me, it is saying, yes, you really deserve that award. So I want now the Ubosi and why you say money there now? Yes, except I say unya sa Defense award. Now a banner with you I'm especially with maize, acreages are huge. And labor issues. How do you
say me ba maize inside the CCA me kranipa 20 20 nende omo ye main workers each and every month bia na omo de say nipa ne de omo da me payroll so akwambia so se meti omo ka sa nkrofo ne ye omo a omo hwe afu ni so ankasa. Apart from that, me wo casual workers enu betimi atwam be 200. The entire makers are say ye wo omo a edu time say ye mebo dru a omo ba bebo dru because we dodo na ankasa e manpower na omo de ye dodo na enti ye wo omo edu time so omo mra mebo dru a omo ba ye omo edu time so omo mra mebo amienu a omo ba omo wie no atu omo ka na omo ko back omo mba bebo aburu nase ewo ho ye wo omo nso a omo ba omo nso be wie a na omo ko na wati omo eka ye wo omo ankasa nso omo be apply fertilizers any urea ye wo omo ankasa omo be boa ma yitwa ye wo omo ankasa omo be boa ma ye pake because meme de no de ntia meme ye kakraka ni nyina ne say mesaye de feed me poultry no ansa na de be ka so no maton akwabonten enti efri say me start is adwuma no afi bia dodo bia medo bia minimum number of bags me de feed me poultry no enti me yi sa number of bags ni gu ha metimi de feed almost 6 months de aka bia na some hena price na wo market ne ya na magya ne kwai some hena price na wo market na zo no nya nuru se de makoma pa metimi edi gu ho edu time say price na cost afi na maton mainly abro adwuma ankasa no ye started time every March echo because ha no ohwe said ye nzuo ni tono esitie na by March na afi na be a first or second nzuo na start say eto that time you prepare asase no said ye be betimi ye adwuma within the season and na me say lucky and other side as in say me say poultry farm ni do times ye 2 manu on nyina from February to March ni nyina omo beto manu on good land na so sa akopim se nsuo ni to na start say ewura from a afi na ye de tractor akwa plow said ye be ya ye de betwe time ye de ebedua no enti me madwuma na nkasa dodo na ye say me ye e de ma me ho ansa na de bebro so no me de akọ market anase omo pepi o market no omo etimi anya bi ho na aha no wo said de aburo dua ne sitie na unnua bro in large quantity say emoka so bedua bro say wo say a free bed 10 acres square kosoro na ebia ensu afelu anase bibi ntino dabi de odi room ne de ye ya na won sabitimi asa aka ne back even surprises ne kosoro krampo ne de akuafo no yetimi enya ne yie pa aha no the entire na menua rasi dika kasa no woka bruhaha about my word no any ade ne say your definition of
because honestly it's my first time of hearing said there was even an issue with award no no so no full details and I'm saying maybe but why answer that because said me can say acreages no so no and labor issues can be say do you have access to machinery like agricultural machinery now there but
for now
the data
Yeah, me tractors
Na
and
tractor
support.
more renting.
Oh, me tractors. Me I know trader now. And then the up a plowing in with the imagine.
All those things. Okay. You they say it matter when minister you are really well equipped, and yes, that's so good. I'm saying I feel you do before I ever started the program. Like I'm saying, it was news to me. I heard earlier on say what we win award. Now we were planning to put on the show, but I never knew said there were issues around it. You know, their also and why those issues and whatnot. Yes. Hello. Oh, network.
And one about in Yamma. Because me free this evening, this is 7% me, and your name. Me free me days at school, I can I'm starting say, may you clear. That the same in Quack is here by a black COVID by no. Me will say we are my sign in no. Sika or a dia or Bibia will be anti me save you. That time I didn't save you by a Diane. Because yes, will be answered them, but I need you to mean the me first I the man me say no I want me di work here e was me to me bie mu man ye kese and then ma me di bie mu man ye kese enne yakopon adaro ma mampon municipal ma baba je best farmer we a stepping stone because anytime be me throw challenge ma me ho sa challenge we a challenge say me yire me ho na me ye ekwa ni mu yi a metimi akomo ni mpa enti madam panimfo ase em say vet na hodo aye fam kura be 9 num ni nsia ne ade aye fam mu nyina wie ye na no mu hu ni say me farms na me ye no eni di di mu a afiwe ye de sa abaso bo we ama me enya mabru ne mfom so yenti ameka say enya mabru ne mfom so ne say se me ka sika me di ruakua ye mu kirewa obi a woni dwetire no ntimi nye eti me fa sa kwanya we say so aka kire aban say ye wo mabru ni bebre ti se me a omo pese omo nyakua ya anko mo beye so omo hu ya agric officers na omo be hu omo bo omo modin yie pa ne akuafo aku ahodo atwa ye ho ahia na yetimi yi enum ana wo de edupe e wo manfo ha say ye de sika ta wo machi omo so maye ti se me a me so omo say a check ro na mfie mi no mba beje best farmers award.
Yeah, hello, that Alex. Hello. Hello, that Alex. This network again. Hello.
Oh, okay. Me akwana means me aso speak you too. Now wow. All right.
Because I was trying to get both of you. I mean, the tissue.
Baba, me we say two different cameras. One of them say money problems. He's trying to. There he is. Let's bring him back. But there you go. So that Alex is back.
Maybe so. What you mean, ka?
Yeah, too, Kapa.
All right. And see, normal call be see muti masasa. Me phone na me the edge man said we are interrupt here.
Okay. This is what you mean, ka?
But so mo sound and I call back.
Hello. What you mean,
But
ka?
so mo sound and I call back. Mo sound no call.
Please, newsroom, can you check for me because my mic is unmuted to me who I want to make
sound and a call back.
I'm saying, me too, but who want to make that
Alex, what's your main
Maybe I saw a
okay, yeah. I have to stay on. Number one. Now, it affects the sound. I'll just stay.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I'm saying, now who explains whatever the controversy.
Who question?
Let me just say that I will explain whatever the controversy was, but this issues the man. If you can start again now, and then like why is your award a controversy? Because everything shows there. You know why? You know, I didn't tell controversy. Yeah, sound EBO. What you mean, Hello? Hello, that Alex.
Breaky.
That Alex, Ote.
Me tell what the any clear, but on only the any breaky.
And the mammy bisa question, the man on the fantasy of you. No, Obisa said, or a Juman why from the Wakanina Umfu. So why was there a controversy? Say, when is our award? I don't know.
And see, I am you know the controversy nearby. One, they say, business, do nim se me yen wo mampono different from farming.
Okay.
And omo ana omo nim se mara into agric sector no. Omo nwanwa say na da be na oye afu a obeji best farmer. Next one nso ye say omo definition of a farmer and an ABT woman. Omunim se farmer ye obi adebia asoda ne kon ho sekai ekura no na wokofu makodo. By the concept of best farmer na say obi kura wuni afua extra 50 acres no unqualified so obeji municipal best farmer. Enti emusa se omo do 1 acre, 2 acre, 3 acre, 4 acre, 5 acres no. Ebi edru award na de obetimi abenya yesekai because unqualified ankasa so obey win best farmer. Next one so they say me a politician. Me na me mampon constituency organizer. Ena me fan say party back no wakonya so no. Who say that was the time I know the best suppressing me. Because me I'm nominating me 2022. I'm nominating me 2023. I'm nominating me 2024. I said my penny back and say to me on na opposition leader. It's not yes I qualify you. And yes I win ye by being me NDC constituency organizer or mampone there. To me, I'm a power opponent abaso as best farmer or mampo constituency.
That's kind of politics for you.
Say a jumana me and so ni a boa youth na o mampono. A boa my man for your juma and a hokra the oman she. And it's all one no mutiati and munu musum buena. Never kesiana frisa angle hono na eba. It is an etia. Yan is a minia, a regional minister, any other man. Now, Rusty, over any mamma bossy, any businesses are Mikran or Mampoa. Obia aware of side businesses now. The Anka regional minister bet me I and say, Obama is me aqua municipal best for my regional. Nanka de womi abuboya. Culture. Ashanti regional. Come at me, Brown. Yow. Sir, Ashanti regional minister. Boa Obra. Now, Branya Bibia. Nanka the Oba and say me, baby, Yama municipal region in Akro, municipal best farmer. Nayamana Boboya. Obia mi kura tratters akasia mi kura kia ni adia mi die maduma e kura mi cars ba ku mienu mi ensa mi anka sa mi dada mo de nka enye de wo don sam ne de man ka bobo ya de nka fa mo bayi
Mami bisa that Alex aplankena na meeting no Mami bisa apart from okay enti what listen no money na my I'm said the fact that regional minister Yewumiano was also very in the whole.
And no, I think that yes, that played a major role. Yes. Because, like I was saying, the previous government, you were nominated continuously for 3 years, which means you were doing something good. something good, but just because of the political angle.
Man's question, no.
Or just say now around that time, no, that kind of offer say, it must be because of Unia, Unia near minister. Because that time, so no, 2023, 2024 now,
2022, 2023, 2024, and some Rapana, Minu and Kranya regional minister, or no minister of 2025 year.
All those years, Omo nominate you are. Let's say Omukran say you were doing the job. Just say
second person, they are maintaining a voice, no.
Okay, but Mary Liam, no,
okay, that's Becca's
but Mammy Bohol Sumau. Or just say, already to the Okana, say, oh, yeah, nominated 2022, 2023, 2024. Let's say someone is who ye,
and then even a Piafona, woman born, no. Obianim the master, Obianim so on main.
Maybe about that. But let me make a point. This is around this time, that Dr. Bakuni or hard power. Make I tell my Obuko, the mobile war, you can say.
Electoral Commission.
Hey, I'm not every department Remus Bibi and Panso, but the Sanko shedding Yano, you know, but Mammy Bisa, Omo, and nominate someone with you, no. Any of them ever war anything close to their Woyana.
Dabi. Omo nominate him, no. Obia ni wa 1 year man me wono.
No, because Omo ye nominate you with you, no.
Yes, Obia ni wa 1 year man me wono. There no bear me kakra. Portrait farmer back one no kan ba ono na portrait nko an wo ye. Enti na de obetimi age livestock. Ba me wo portrait farm no. E ponchi nantwie edo brodo mu do sa na yama ni nyina nti. Ni nyina no me wo mu wo ho. Apart from that no. Omo na me ni omo call competition ni kura obi anu wa bie na no. Because the obi anu the master. And obi anu ba ga na ho odi koduru. Enye sa enkenei ada na kakuafo na wo mampo no ka wonti wo mo nka se wo beka se esisi wo ho. Ana what you self yo.
Baby.
Omo tototo bo ba park so nyina na omo ti kumase ne nkran a. Omo nim kwa akwa e fa so yafuo ni na ye dedi. Enti eno ne de se wo hwe political side ne de wo ye de ya mi nim se me expect sa na man because once I we politician there. Sa na man no ebetimi abam but senka doctor will be a was or mammy, or send for mammy regional one because we qualify regional one.
Regional one is the sure say best friend Anna.
Oh, Doma, no, almost shall be cold day. As I shall be bufu, it's make up for next now, cramming region.
Interesting.
Oh, yes, Yanko, I had this year. My two are challenging my number home because the national cramming to me national best youth farmer, they bet me at it.
And that's what is the best farmer? Even the optics of it, crampon, how it be a shady palm crime.
Yes.
Yeah, somebody as young as you are, somebody, you know, you have so many different options. That's they're working. We're for grandma for him or other businesses. That's also some young person educated, everything. Now, if you watch best farmer, it's just a very good sign for the youth and the government drive to put the youth in agriculture. And our roots
agric officer. One kasa free say sa award we buy. A man for a show interest will create more office.
Exactly.
Go say, yet Ghana Hano. Young Pala Bremen and say, I see a panacea, and your cocoa trad on my see and go do. And he, as your youth, Nichim will say, a doctor and bono, Occasion say, so wouldn't attempt. And this woman as Uncle Channel, and with the business aspect of a cake in a Ghana Hanomana. Rusty, say, Yamebua, now you're a trouble running in a year to 2 years, now me can't free mobile. If you who says, can it be just like a pension and that's why you see a movie? Oh, yes. But the best in mind is the last 2 years.
Abroni Koya could do 1,300 per bag. Now we were more than 1,200 bags na nebuho.
Whoa.
Oh yes. And to the calculator so never had yet. And see,
the literal meaning of that. Usika ye bro. Yes.
Usika bro. And see, ajuma yes, man for cram womu ramwa Emma, so me audio na mo boy the challenge you can see a woman my youth meet me no. Rasti is here me no ka say. Say ofa tractor, obi a woni tractor woye afuo no. So o ka try say o pese wonye 100 acres this year. Tractor bia no apply 1 acre or 400 Ghana cedi. It just 100 acres no, what 40,000 only plowing nkwa. Six I would be a my. And no, I would be a word my labor and my a home cost in Kayaka in my and Tibusa will say. And you park a crashing in some quite bad or betting your first or betting my ass, Jumano. And see, me when is moving forward, you know. Say government, you know, every feed Ghana by. Need troops not see them 4 minutes me a year. And now, from whom I get officers, me and you are more filled now. One in you or almost we are very serious, sir. So almost support one bet me a year. Because the community support me so I can bet me a boy. Now, let's because as up as 100 acres. Now, classica, Ekika 100,000 extra. This will bet me a year. It's the challenge back home.
Now, yeah. Rootsman and won't tell Rootsman and can't remember or no bisa question now. You more about 2 more questions. Not okay. Obusana one I met you much of Graham said you were having a challenge with the audio. So Rootsman, please go ahead.
Because, but now I was going to ask when they move for collaboration at the same say do you rely on them a lot for operations, you know? I feel so I never make say Sisiano. Okay, probably I'll leave that one as my final comment into the yes. Let's deal with Sabat. Then maybe say that's my final comment.
Let's go to Yana say me relay.
This all come and say.
No, bisa say MOFA for the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Food and Agriculture. I think they are called. Then kita huna any idea that what kind of assistance do you get from MOFA?
Okay, into MOFA for normal the NSA. One more decentralization system. Every corner be a person for be more extension officers or home. And to me, find say maybe there one man pon Esraso Butoku area hono. Extension officer of her area home. They are also a front place Kwamine so extension officer no one in the say. A do time was all Kawaka Jumano. Now who almost say be a Juma we say na me person me ya. Expert advice beyond will be on back guide work of the baby Jumano. And if I see that Ubedia, if I choir was a who apply and Yama, if I time I was all apply fertilizer, time I was all urea, Sanya money each and every time will be a normal update on said yesiko. Even climate change and Casacra, no much me advice here on that. And to Amono, oh yeah. Each and every time your advice be here be a normal the mao.
I see. Interesting. Now, livestock. Matisem and one Omopania no bonnet, Nibuati pa. Munya support here from Honor.
For now, no, Hano. Bibi to support Rene Crampono. Ya war Omopania once. By vaccines, no, na every week be as offer or more. A cosiso mubedi 4 weeks, no. Every week be an I was all more vaccine. It's vaccine, and I na price, no, I was look at. But I said, yes, city, no. Yeah, hi. Obekra Akokoba from Belgium, Eddie Ababe Drew Hanon, and now one, I cost 30 Ghana cedi. And so far, Akokoba is 2,000, 3,000.
Now what me do on bedra, minima the cronty was all prepare. Now was skipping vaccine said the abaya back problem, the abro.
Bro, yes.
Me no say. Omo and Yama Bebre, almost here so cross on best farmer and Ankasa Cromo consider. Will him say? Me farm no, and at the whole mampon farms in I mean one of more CCTV cameras across every area. And she says, yeah, me no say. Near air cost on me poultry farm will be and me will come as say and me no say. May aware of Bibia air cost will be a day in day out activities be up. The entire exercise say. Star farming no dia sike ewuram ni nyesika ketwa ye hanen so no ufa obi adwuma nas wan hwe ya udi agro baba ofom enti wasa waye wadre sa wo ye ade ne na wo ye ne yie no e wasa wo siki o ade na wo ye no ma nipa ne hu se wo update on bibia ekoso wo ho bia enti we ye area ha nyina me farms ne nko akra na cameras wo ho a me trust ye di nkomo emebie na mo hu de we a esi eweke fa ne ade nti me fa wo as a worker me do ko gina cameras na ni na ma kire wo me tua wo kan ma tua wo ka yie me mpese obeye mistake ama won sa bepa en wo be ka tram say ya bonsam enti so screen this one I farm no ayi ne dia na set up on the daso no airport and set up that's no.
There you go.
The first page, flip here. The next one and so I'm the one live videos, everything on Bibia Airport farm will be. The same thing applies to Babia and Antri no one, a honest more electricity access wo. Enti Nina and me wo a higher Babia me feed wo, me nim so be who for 1 year. Me we are sending you videos and pictures of the American in now. Enti say wo ye adwuma na wo ye wife say wo ye na wa pesika wo mu dia. Said your was away Ghana near Winim Ghana for told us said Yesu by city no. E was say bibia was o ye man see ye bia no ye. Said ye be at the end of the worker.
Pepe.
So yes, they can prepare because said okay. Yes, so a similar way we are into fish farming, and the cameras are boho. Yes, we monitor, like on a 24-hour basis because there's a community research that we down one. Let's prevent it. We've invested in cameras. They share, a whole. I think say we are the right thing now.
Yeah. Now, first of all, no, fish farm, farms. Almost so more employ camera technology ni bisa.
Excellent.
And no any roots organic farm. And also say fish.
Where your friend no mistake.
What I say, and no say, what share with me? And me America meet me who the other time America says them show. Or more cameras they go off from na. Or workers need him. And to I'm afraid. To be afraid, and I'm say, hey, a call. I mean, which my friend a call. That's a call. Now workers say, but what if no moves a then a cost why? Because I'm moving on so be casa. And I'm saying, perceiving their call, because I say, me, I'm in their call. That's the 1 year call. I also, yeah, but the Biana Wokan, who said, who said, Untimin Bahoma be ye.
That no work can cry. What him say he's being monitored.
But be sure we it's on another scale crowd together. Another scale. Assembly by now no more cases. And I'm saying, no be a name for a bronquiet 200 acres.
20
acres. From a farmer.
I can relate to the whole
how didn't quite fast cry food.
I can relate to the Wokano because me a former extension officer. It's minim. Like the way the selection is done.
Extension officer. That's the other thing. Or professional.
Okay. Wow.
It's also
my name is Mufa. About 20 years. And the Wokai meaning what goes into inspection of farms to select the best farmer. But no matter what sooner than now, say, and I think that with what you have, the least should have been a regional award and yet district. And I said municipal, the least should have been a regional award.
Yep.
Why are you really into this? And I look at you, we're a young man, like a young man, and most people wouldn't expect you to have invested so much into agriculture. It's, in fact, I'm really, really, really impressed. I think what we'll do is after the show, we'll talk behind the scenes. Friends saying, how I put me a collaborating on one or two things. But like I was saying, now my final comment, maybe I made the man say, Sisian, would Dibia Sisian as the municipal friend saying,
best farmer.
Now you have a big platform. Who a platform? Who kasha ebe kwechire, who just ebe kwechire. Me wa de say ba kope and I made ebe to when him say whenever you have the platform now, this had adenum so djuma ma me. Efa no extension officers na ye ka omo ase won omo ye djuma. Like we said, me my say djuma be there for over 20 years. Ye boa ikwa no e mo je awards akese, but they always forget about the extension officer.
Okay, that I'm breaking him out. Now, starting no kese or because of an experience as a former extension officer, need to know onim. Jawo kanina onim.
Alright.
Jawo kanina nina ekum. Na no sa kese because of Sise Udibre Awabenya as municipal best farmer no. Abemao a voice and a platform to trumpet issues. Na adeba kwa de best on se bia obenya kwenya kasa bia no de bia ye dwen kuafon na mum as extension officers so ye sheda nkan mo asem ni die papa
eno kwasem pa
o se unya kwenya na wa kan mo so asem ni bi e de amom am asma no country pacho ye
no me that's because ya wo kan ma was that side na hwe extension officers are more motorbike crowd be and what they are in the Juma. Enti eyade hadwene pa ye said ya woka no. The way my home capacity so am person mo akuafo me gidi say government e ma omo support e wo ha be sikwa move kwa ko mfuo no ma e be boa ye akuafo yiye papa. Enti a good caller. Mijiri se babia medru bia ne nkomo bia medi bia na wasa mede omo ka ho. Because say ya me no kasai. Enkomo ye di because of best farmer no. Sa extension officers no adwuma omo hu ye no. Ehun report no omo ye de ye nomination e man panifo ba be hwe ya. Omo hu se adwuma na ekoso no e no pressure. It would deserve say ma wa wo. Ono na ye na nam edua so na homa hu soro. Eti nyakopon ya aduma ba bia bedru bia na ebedi hu nkomo bia na said the rootman waka no ye de be kan ye niam a ye be sre aban ene omom kan bia wom ne ho said the be ombetumi abo extension officers am mo djuma bia timi akọ aduma pa because pasa ye bia fo ne nya so mfa so
ye da osipi me last one na maybe say answer yakọ ni say aban we ye member of the governing party at this time we are very well versed with abiding policies or the above for California there. And kitten, Figana by extension and all of that. A mood and at this time was some ye power with me share.
And so where says here, government policies no modiaba efa agri sector na. Meka se mi 3 ye ni nyina mi wo mu dada. Enti me no kasa sisi e kra no. Enkukon kitten so hwe mampon area hono mo a. Government ne policy for nkukon keten ne say ontimi nchi akokoba emfama meshe rootman nsem say me di akokoba na baje na tete no obekwa akowu enti ono ne de answer or distribute the ma ye wo capacity a ye wo adwumanum dada no enti atete wo mo ne first second third fourth vaccine e de ma wo mo wi asamre no matwa wuo na afe agric officers na ba befa wo mo akochama efie mufuo no so we see here we ye 5,000 best on the bar for Mampon constituency no first batch ni nyina ni 5,000 best and see afe no much 2 weeks and the next 2 weeks no agric for no ba befa wo makoye distribution ye besre omo wo Ghana ha ne so omo fa omo hunim because say beje kwatete no hweni ye no onto kosiama onyini na beku na we waku na we no enya de bone na wo hwe the way amanfo AC year registration na ehye say achefom enti yankoso nse government ni crime na sika odi ruam no oma hoden ne nya kese na obia na opese ne nsanso bi su bia no ne nsatimi aso eso eba ni say ne so no e one advantage and disadvantage ne say enei kosia ye wo e wo market no ebi beba mo pa minim say ye di nkomo ye bepe kwa ye befa so a se e buru Ghana so kra na se de kodivu afo no mu nyankoko a ebi ho mba Ghana befa bi no minim say ye betimi adi hu nkomo ama other African countries ne so e betimi afa nkoko ni bi anase nkosia ni bi di afri ntimi di say e stage na ye behwe na advice bi a ye wo mu na yenim ewo grounds bia ne so yebetimi di amana government policies net me agina because ye Ghana for ya na ye de maye
pepe and I say about the sansu kra now adeba kwa metwe adwin sisu say ye school kra e no mudi to be very honest with you we say buy we the best but it's work in progress the standard of Edianina is school for need no and yet the optimum and you know there's always somewhere a kushani a kokoni betimi akọ
come up
school for the Diana no and then the standard never cost so because all of a sudden Boko dining hall are very chicken any what damn versus say tama me was Peters now you call dining hall at tuna a bet say ye nipa be 10
onko crowd beko
it's say no I don't think that there's a way you be nyan kokona na be kushan na be waste there's nothing like that you ask me
ade aye didi enye waste that
plus the storage always right your store be China it is simple so for months why can't you put that same in a freezer and eat it 3 months later but minim say they have all that covered that Alex but that was CPE I am ya pass when the roots man into me command one I mean
yapa because
kwesi da be say mo fa me no mama no we'll talk behind the scenes and then
news will take care of that. News will definitely take care of that. That Alex was here for the number amount. Now for you also and na mutimi kita ho behind the scenes.
Mate.
I mean,
I salute you, my former extension officer. Once a soldier, always a soldier.
What did I say?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Now the very said that Alex, maybe starting something with you. I fear you new be here in Jumedi. Me per se different departments now woni na yebeba onkoko ho no yebeba yebeba be ye yebeba cover onkoko no
all right
ba ye ni na yebe hwe ni na yebe the series it's afia ye be sim dey ni obeye no secondly the be
hopefully some of the business me come ho aba personally
a rootsman so be kan ho aba personally on
oh wow that's good
great. And I'm maybe so fish and so.
Yeah, me wo catch fish. E wo but no de en se danje kesinti na mamo so no.
Anu kwa me bo kwa kwhwe na wa hwepa na so chen obi dia no kwa so de yedede o.
Oh. Yeah, so who's there?
The kind of skills that we do Bible. Who tell me that small no will be somebody's will be the several
say who say ye starting the sagro afi mu ye da ne ye ne kese ko
kese
that Alex there was CP na nyuma nyina so edwuma o ya eduane bebre ya ma nyina ye nye bi edidie nipa bone fonko a eno be we she bad ama there was CP because jojo now, as we said, from time to time, everybody what's going on. The other thing, and I'm a person say no, as a member of the NDC, and you see who farms as a model for NDC policies, how it's progressing. So far,
Excellent.
you breed that crampo for the Kokon Kitikiti program and all of that. You better from time to time, oh, NDC, this policy, how is it going as a establishment, as a model? You better was you now you see for it.
All right. Yeah, Rootsman, Rusty, Jakupon Shamunina.
Michelle also.
Okay.
Okie dokie. All right, bye-bye. Okay, Dada Alex, municipal best farmer for Mampong, municipal best farmer. And Yenene Kasai and Rootsman. Ube wrap up on agriculture now you moving straight to
we had a very interesting interview. Said on there are other topics to discuss, but and then Senta on the interview, which was very insightful. Yes, I'm really happy. You know, follow up. So we'll end this segment here, and then we'll catch up with you again, hopefully next week.
Thank you very, very, very much, man. So this is where we bring agriculture to a close. Please stand by for GH reports, after which we bring you arts and culture, and then we will be out of here. In the meantime, let's go for a very short commercial break. Babaka, straight to GH reports with Justice Marfo.
Best kept culinary secret.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on Walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
All right, we are back, and it's time for the GH reports. And here comes the man, Justice Marfo. Justice, what's going on around the country? Let's go.
Yeah, movie akwa your mobile GH News now. Or TikTok, GH News now, YouTube, Radio KULCHA. Now, and then you to find the idea a central region, I think a Chiano. Na Nana Hima Oho, your friend and Nachiwa, your tuno, adear so. Yes, nana de ho wura gadam say gada en say no mu nana de ho wura mu ene de asem kese na mete ye de na mete ne yemfa santimanta mu ha de no enkonko ho kakra na yemfa ani nkire mu asenchie no na nana chewa abusuapani atu no ama yese wono atimi gina ne tumi so esi hene foforo se ohena wo ho no ompe asha ase ebubbo nkonwa nkuma bi ka ho a eno nso so etia nananom amamre ne omo amane na eno na konti hina wo asenchie no nana peko akwase awu agetua wagina ne tumi so na watu eye ohiman nana chiwa na otu ni wieye no kuro no yage kuroma no ni agye yie pa na nka ye hwese nka kuroma no bi anka ombe demonstration ombe stage demonstration am ye hu se o ebi a omobonyo so nanso se ye se nana ene galamsey foi bi na etu sone na kakum ye gine kwakwo no mu wobra na konti hene de nsentwerefo edi nkomo no newsroom ayekra do awon interview no emfama ya wobra na nana peko akoye wa jitua na ode nsam etudwa
na ya yetu and say womo ba ni group me tu kwa ba me fie womo ba me na so control ya ba na segment say na for segment no ye nye segment no ha galamsey na ye mpa bi krom ha nantin nana yesrewa we ni nam dabi nana matia so ma fase no mko ohima ho me hu say ohima o makoji skena ya mamutu ama wa makoji o sika wo de case bi e ba me manim say nana kontunye ade ohima ade ya ba wo me kwase ko tu galamsey o ha ya ba pa say hono mi tu galamsey ya koji sika nso so onye de on fa maye na ja say wo ma tu galamsey ni nyaro ohima na mo kwan ni nyina ka ho ni say ska jiji ni timba ni royalties o jiji we nyina o me to ti galamsey ni de ohima look how because o ye wo mo ye hu to mo nya ba ni akwasa ni chen na ti galamsey de say sa ni so ni bi bia o metu ya na say ani ye gina ye tu no so so tesia ye be tesia o betu ye busu anu ani say ye di ka wa gu abusu anu ma say abusu anu ma say wa gu ni say wa to o ma hintam atene to tam anu agu anu ma say no ni first charge de to no o ma hin ka tell say wo si hin ko president say ma juri say kwamte ka no ahwehwam ye bawie no say o ma hin wa akosi hin e kura be da o ga na ahugum ye no e wo ma o yesa na o de say to na say security e person na o ye na o de ba e kura no eno ni charge ba kwa e wo no afa atoto bi o say ya de ni te o no wo muya dan firi nyina no e dai wo muya wo ya wo na wu ani wa kwa kete ya tabu di wasi na nan wo bia metu ya na ni ya de ni to ko da ho ani ya tabu ni nana so de wo se bi da bempere di wo de nana so de dia wo se bempere mi ama be se o hia bepe wa ko fa wa sha ho wo se mi so pani wa bra ya ni pedi fo no ya ni wo hwe ti ko fa hini afiri aho wo be
Interesting.
Nana konti hene na yakote ne nkan na pa ku esi awu agitua mini dia galamsey scan na hima ma dia ni dia wi a woti hin ha mo say
galamsey na wakin you uti accept that is okay galamsey issue all right but there are some other issues we are hobbies like galamsey royalties
na ana ekasa wie ye na chine na timamufo ni bi nso a omota chire se yentu nana hema nana chi wa nso so obuso de nsem atudwa se ni shuma ye krado a ombo ye second interview no fama ye wabra na timamufo ni bi nso so edo o mano di se
no mom anya se ohene hwa no na ko se kwafa ohene fufo se wodi ne ba na che oyene ani first ntokwa ana ope odi aposifo langadifo ana motutu to kwase kase mama nipa bebre gane ye enti entra mo amo no mehwe amafa ekonu de emo sesi ekonu putu me bianko ahampo de yebo kakra ba ko aya ase a aye mobobo keke adenti na ekura animunyam wom ekura nka ye wosika aye betumi ne sesi ekuro na sesu ni na twinu onyema diska na omo obi amane ensunsaso a ewo oye wo abusuani mu no abeka kuro no aka yempesua so a yenkofo kuro mte asase so asundwe ni babia ba obetena akunya no so no ehu mpuntudwuma bia waya ma omen obi kwa ababua asi toilet amaye akase ebe compete no nana no sika odi wo kromi a wontumi fa kakrampo fanya toilet no haye si ane yani ye purpose ye gina so ne se yantumi ne nya dai emu o ma yi o se no o tra kunya no so cha o de o haw no de bebla o man no ade a o sisu na o ye no ye mpe tete toilet nko ebi ni kuro yi mu amanjuma bi ese so mo ye ye nya amanjuma wa ha ohima no ne nyoma bi a o ye okromia no in fact ye dwene ho ayente ase say even ekuro yi nya se ye ni sika o ye ha no makunya sika wo ho kura che kuhia nanso empuntuo enkoso o ma concession a ye nchem ye chem o ma ne ye nwe percentage na nke de ye mpuntunuma no wa no so ka ho no mo say ekuro mu ya enti ya pamochao enko aji piwa no say ya pamochao enda no ohima chewa no wonye ohima biem
wow ani na tu no charge no dross yesi wakofa butapani pesu ti wa hina foforo galamse sika wakwakwa ni nyina aka ho bi na tu no na ka wahene bi a yesi ɛyɛ mampɔnkuro dua mu ha nketewa ne bi na yɛsi no sɛ nkɔsoɔ hene na ɔyɛ nɔdna ɛna yɛde no si sɛ nkɔsoɔ hene na ɛn sɛ dasebro sɛ ebu nsu bɛwuo na wɔkato hɔ sɛ ɔmo mfa ne nsi so na wuo n'akyi no na mpanimfoɔ ahwɛ sɛ ɛwɔ sɛ ɔmo de nana ɛbɔ hyɛn no ɔmo de yɛ adwuma ɛno nana de ba nanso na mehu sɛ wei no nso so ano ɔhye nti no ɛbrɛ ma yɛ kwan saa no nti no yɛmfa no nti hɔ na nyame pa next week yɛmfa no mbra na ɔmo bɛhu no wɔ yɛn TikTok page no so nnura da yi ɛna ɔmo de ne si hɔ sɛ lawyer Kingsley Atanga ɔyɛ adwuma wɔ Land Commission ɛna dasebro sɛ ebu nso ɔnyɛ ne baabi prɔhyɛ sɛ yɛmfa no nyɛ nkɔsoɔ hene na ɛno na nka yɛhwɛ sɛ nka yɛde bɛba nanso yɛntumi amfa ama yɛde nanachi wa yɛtu na deɛ soɔ ɛna yɛde ba nti no yɛn subscribers ne followers nyinaa no monhwɛ yɛn TikTok GH News Now ɛkyɛ wobɛhunu nimni a yɛsi ne hene wɔ asantemam
Effect, if you ask me, effect. It brings cohesion among us. Na me they say your friends in some here and anya sa ne friend no nana e kan asem to ho no omo amfan amfan jeje mu no mo akoso se o om de beye adwuma what hwe hu a hwe Ghana ha se ya e kru bi edimu bi azongo wo hu sa de no wono tisa e kru bia a friend who say kru bia azongo e wo ho no ye kyeni say ye wo a certain culture bia ye welcoming ye akanfo enso ye wo bibia se sebe obi a ye yifu so ye hoho mpo no ye mfa ne say ye nua mo omo fisi mebe so no mo ya hoho mpo a ye wo bibia etimi de mo tena ne ade ni so sa ko not nso asa na tie uko bibia omo de ma ye mfi ho no mo ye so ye tena ne ade emefe it's just something that I think is nice me pachopi next week friend so brain na ye hu bibia so
Sikere baba nti hana berba me kwan ye de yaman ina si nti ma for justice nso ni me di
me da was ma answer be kono justice ma me bisa fiaso issue no ye da so a edi ekire and then aka osi eni parliament ne kasa unfortunately when ya kwan osi osuro contempt essence asem no work personally me feel say you're good enough excuse but yeah man of chance na yen some follow up interest next week give my ebe ye benya no na kasa there me one say Abdullah Ibrahim and we are very ready to speak with us now for near friend bi on funny phone I hope say obia enka se bia nkyere no say ombe boni ho na bibia sa na so mo boni ho mpo a ye de ye be di ye be di ba next week na me yes yeah try to be a human rights lawyer for money na ye di assembly more hopefully be do so na contempt sem no so atete MP nani so na ono so any ebekasa ebeka be ya to abama unia ya to abama it's not your place to be afraid there's nothing to be afraid of a court one can be bia you kind of saying denigrating to the court now. There's no issue of contempt at all. You see, baby, oh, they say, "Oh, me full details no." But you say, not say anything when we know say there's something as serious as somebody with a bullet hole in his hand. That's it. You think so? Next week, Justice, you better CP, Nyamisha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And we are just about to wrap up the show. Synergy is up next with arts and culture. Meaning say they're packed In the meantime, let me announce, we are going to Asin Fosu, like you said, Asin Fosu to Kese Festival now started, and we are there in full force. There is something going on at Roots Kitchen. Roots Kitchen. Say, oh, Asin Fosu. Mamen Kancho, what is new in Asin Fosu? Untime Mese. Your friend Roots Kitchen. Roots Kitchen, to Kese Grill and Chill. There's also something called the Calabash Experience. Nina Koso, Roots Kitchen. Roots Kitchen, you're directly opposite the hospital, the St. Francis Xavier Hospital. Udu Honoma, just branch over there, go get yourself something to eat and drink. Now, like I was saying, next week, we will be in Asin Fosu for the Tutukese Festival. We will be bringing you the show next Sunday, a week from now. We will bring you the show live from Asin Fosu. And from Studio 1 will always be Studio 1, and then Studio 2 will move from Kumasi to Asin Fosu for next week's show. Synergy will be bringing you his show live from there. He will also be having a live event from Roots Kitchen where he'll be giving away free food. Keep an eye on that. Okie dokie. All right, we'll go for another short commercial break. When we come back, it's time for Arts and Culture with Synergy, and we will be out. Please stay, don't go away. We will be right back.
Secret. Blood of the slain will never be in vain. Never. No. We don't want to see no more people dying. Zayana Yahweh. Whoa. Zayana Yahweh. Whoa, Zayana way. Whoa, Zayana Yahweh. Yo, listen, man. My name is Ja, beloved. You can call me Kwesi back when the occasion calls for it. You are watching KULCHA TV. Keep it locked. KULCHA TV. Africa, from African perspective.
Since 1994, crafting natural products with organic shea butter and red palm oil. All products are available on Walmart.com and Shopify, or visit our website at chrismark.com.
All right, and we are back, and as you know, it's time for Arts and Culture. And when it's time for Arts and Culture, only one name comes up, the man called Bismarck appears. Synergy.
Yes, Raj. Good evening.
Good
evening.
Yes, sir. Wagwan.
Everything cool your side.
There. Nice one. Okay, arts and culture, fire call.
Radio culture.
Nice one. Today on Art and Culture, it is going to be more interesting and a little bit of disappointing on the side of what people expected. But on the low key or on the higher side, the expectations said there was echo. And we know that with this week, especially this weekend, the talk of town, the most interesting conversation, to me, a newsroom, other stories has to do with the final funeral rites of the legendary Charles Kwadwo Oppong-Wadie died on July 26, 2025 as Ghana's musician icon globally known on a global stage. His impact, his contribution, and the image he portrayed outside there is what we're expecting that Ghanaians will celebrate a figure like that. Now, based on all these things, his demise had a major influence about the economy. But it looks as if it didn't go that way. From day one out to that was 2 days ago on the 11th of December 2025. Yeah, share stories in the but what I best started that lumber issue need today and how to do what happened on Thursday and on Friday and as at yesterday and today and not any of the current issue. As to the reason why the funeral should have been on 6th December 2025. I'm also duty in Tamkesia a berm which ended a body on. Later on, a unit also on 13th. It's on 13th for the year in Kabibia Ebeba on peacefully. But I'm not sure I'm possible. So on 10th December, each unit also called to be mainly the complainant are follow the application, the maternal family are more on the side of that lumba and the person on the defendant are only the person of Ebusha Penny Eja Owusha. This said people will say, and now on Thursday, on my same copy of court. Now, in some idea about now the maternal side of that lumba are only the close relatives of that lumba. They are saying that any may be a caution with regard to that lumba. So it will say court. Ebetia Samono. No idea to in our more say or proceed to the funeral arrangement in who be almost just a court in fanning and fanto that lumba a year when she shall air coso. So on Thursday they submitted all applications, but unfortunately on Friday and a sitting in Nankasa air coso. Early in the morning around 10 o'clock, the first ruling we heard was everything is on hold. And now say everything has to come to a standstill on hold. And the reason is now the maternal side of that lumba, they have been neglected from the processes. And I say everything arrangements regarding the death of that lumba and in the funeral. It will say the be involved. The funeral shouldn't continue. That was on Friday, early in the morning, as at 10 o'clock. And at this ruling, Justice our dream was Emmanuel Bediaba, Kofi Bediaba. One is not as same way say as well. Yet one was around 11 o'clock, sorry, around 11 o'clock to 12 p.m. Now, yeah, sounds so another ruling. They should come back again, and the court in the air sounds to a ruling said the first interim justice ruling our debate regarding say young hold a year na young court was so any share be and sign a year numbers na feed watching us in na to say a bit me at was no the maternal family of that lumba should submit 2 million Ghana cedis. And I say in old currency that is 20 billion. And this idea Ebusha Penny me atwa na na oil. Now let me explain. The first application filed by the maternal family of that lumba was there. It interlocutory injunction. Court and granting and that interlocutory injunction actually say temporarily you put something hold. Yemfa injunction contour the end for the meantime. Enkonko and sana ye asembia ye wia ibi etimi akoso. That is the interlocutory injunction. Na eno ena justice provided them from the initial stage but later on. Now for the purpose of education, the reason why the 2 million Ghana cedis Justice Emmanuel Kofi Yaba I can't say the maternal family of that Lumba in Chiatekano is security reasons. And the reason, and it says they want that to be an amount in case it says the dear 70 na ebusia penny and new far says it should go in the form of compensation. I did a man now or they catch it down the court a year. That was the reason why Tia said you can cancel almost. So out of 2 p.m. or when you submitted that court, court admin said they should continue with the preparations and the funeral eba. So now what a year ago, now the talk of town is we were expecting the legend, the icon, Nigeria to be in quote the mega in the space I call it the hands of the global eyes. No, say we are celebrating a legend, but unfortunately on Friday night that was when the preparation of the funeral arrangement started here. So latest matching on Saturday, and I will say the air course like. First of all, said that the creation of OCS didn't go that way. That was to the disappointment. 2, some of the dignitaries we were expecting to be present were not seen. Said but at 3 o'clock it was down to 8 g.m. But those that were committed in support of Odobroni, let me put it that way, they showed up in a year effort. So as it stands now, today, and a match, the final day, they celebrated the final funeral rites of legendary Daddy Lumba. But one person out of this whole saga, Yantinidi, but he showed up on Saturday, was Onuane brother, Nana Achiampo, the Lumba brothers. He showed up, of which in himself, but he showed up. Later on, the body of that Lumba, the Koy and the only for him to show up today again at the latter part of the funeral. I know so Obeto Nyumba community any point here. But the beauty of what we saw, and my there, after all, if the 2 wives, and another fight here, it should have affected their children, but it didn't happen that way. We saw the 11 children of Daddy Lumba all present in a form of dog. Now, a time tribute throughout this whole scene, they were together, and even today they were together. So the conversation is, how did Lumba do this? How was she able to unite Nkwadano? Emma Womutimi Eba a year was a year nominated. He couldn't do that. That's question mark. But until that, you're holding on. One thing that sounds here more important. Now this room will give us all the videos. One thing that happened in the film panel. We know Senko Dobro need couldn't any problem. It will show up. But it got to a point that she was scared to be present at the funeral grounds. And during the tribute, her name was mentioned several times. But we thought to say dear Bibinti and a man and my not knowing it's a Sena was true. And we have a video the Ebutapeni Eja Okusi, popularly known now as Tupac. on a phone call talking to whoever called, telling them that they should allow Oduro to come. Now we're providing security, so nothing will happen to her. After that phone call, Oduro came. So the question is, if Ebusia Penny able to provide security like this for someone, then definitely he knew from the beginning that any why didn't he take time to unite the two wives? Now, of course, all this mess, whether we like it or not, the funeral, but the most of conversation, it will be after. If newsroom can give us a certain videos of so far what we've shared, young Okay. Do we have another video too? Wow.
Interesting.
Nah, I think yeah, for the purpose of education, we need to sit down around the table of discussion, dissect and dissect into how this family has caused to the entire nation. What should have been an economic impact? Now, yet this and slide just like that, all because of family disagreement. But this family of that, I now understand the reason why so Daniel said it's a quantity inside the pair baby and Timpana and a soon acquired the pair. I've seen that it's not here and you hear the by Troy. Now, Oborn if he was facing and yet just music here. One, Nankia Dumba. For a year, 3 days, for a whole week. First of all, let's look at how we see carry globally and locally in case something better out of the legacy. Now, Ebusiane will be recommended and appreciated forever. But yeah, we organize that number a year as a link. Imagine starting that number now from Tuesday or Wednesday. Now Thursday, a bear exhibition. Only for exhibition. Now at the next day, a bear just showcase anything musically performance about that number. Now Friday, a bear. We will just focus on the body. Into nothing like that must be happen. Then Saturday, have voting the day on that. Imagine making this on the economic side that to say, and you are not bad, you know. I could share them for my when I use your penny. What your father name, share and crop for handkerchief and crop for anything be a way. Would yes, nothing. How would the economic impact on Cristiano? Would near Baba also the other side? See the mouse, I would see a big chance more, see a bayard, you want to shut the other side. No, yes, sell it be about that. And how would this whole thing be? The this film and look it so ordinary. A clear look so ordinary to the point to say we didn't get anything. People are not here expecting that they will come. They came because they had this relationship with that Lumba from Obaye. But on the global stage, we saw nobody. But I will say, sir, the maternal side of that Lumba, they were chasing autopsy and what killed that Lumba. No problem about that. But when you go to the point of who is afraid here, saying a court action, we should have sat down. Don't forget to say our brothers' final respect is important. It's a yentinasi. Nebusian can be biamo. Yeah, yes, I'm got and you may be a baby also. Because we know it's a funeral and festival. And I'm a day into fact, a debusian, a bad love, and me a friend is unity of the field. But this integrating out to us one, even I could just say what didn't show up. The third sister of the Lumba didn't show up. How?
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Because yeah.
Okay. Oh, you were saying something to me too.
Oh no. Let me say very interesting. Okay, so for a lot of us, we're developing fatigue for this thing, and I'm very sorry to say, because that Luma does not deserve that disrespect. But to be very honest with you, Akwa said because of some group of people who don't even seem to know what they are doing, and then they are occupying the entire news cycle with nonsense, if you ask me. But please, very fortunately, Timi up and Krabre, which is the best part of what happened over the weekend. At least now the crime concorda. Nothing your mom can do baby. But for some of us, we have developed serious fatigue for some of these. If you point to be an say me who news about that I just swipe it past because I know say I'm going to probably encounter that the attack by the friends Papa She saying some different thing and whatnot. She say I wonder where he is and what he's going to say. And I wonder says Sani funeral no say about so March 1 when it's a better so abaswa. But anyhow, Yemfa and unless you have something else to add, we're already above the time. We have to switch to the next show, which we also should be streaming. But will be before for Africa one if not, I yank to Kesi Asamo quickly, and then we wrap up.
Okay, I think said at a point, not that numbers issue, not a Yafa to start, we were fed up. And fed up is because there was no sense of say there will be unity. Wage will be interested. But the final thing I will say is the family actually say there is nobody except the custody penny one well anymore. Said that lumbo legend Nifunu icon and no ain't near Mebusian and Anya. Then I beg to say there is doom in the family. And I don't know what can bring this family together again. Which is better. So sometimes you say it with the if a global icon ain't me, and I beg to say, sir, I don't think there will be unity in that family again. But Calvin, the elder son, and I said, but big ups to that. He really did very well when it comes to exercising the near penny position, which we can on the first day, that was on the Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, dear. And then the question is, how is that but he couldn't do that for? But the question is, it has already done. There must be. We've lost a global icon. I disgrace the entire nation. It's been nothing of the presidency showed up, but it was just political gains here. We were expecting people to manage the stage, but the only person who was inside was example. And show up because you want to celebrate an IP. No one showed up, and because you there, and somebody, of course, there you can name the money, but I don't think there's sometimes near to the expectation. In case we can penny, and count having more than this. Now, you call yourself the penny to pass again. And next thing now, pursue our way in your you only got to hear about you because that room about on your phone. Now, 70 years with you, and now you are better when you would your name be relevant again? Let's ask ourselves all these questions. We've lost a good while chasing just a mere or stone, which can never be achieved again. Young friends here, the other thing is.
Before we go, let's quickly check in with update on the Tutukasi Festival. We will be right.
Asemanye afasha kasia na ya twen acha no brene ye du Tutukasi afasha 2025 edru ho okumeni ni bafo asarechi ahene otoso mienu ene nananom ewe futu akwa traditional area asemfosu to safre ye nyina 30th November nananom usinchine so abrede dase na wapeja no 12 December 6th November ye clean up exercise or 12 December no ye nananom uzremifo bedi enu ya bompa ye ewia 12 na ye the candlelight procession ahihye so enimre alongside bonfire with Jama and Brass Band. Fenumere 8 the copem 12 midnight. Asafo companies ahodo ina so be hiem. Ayamane. Akwaba night beko so casino pub. Tutukese marathon beko so 13th. Anopa 5:30 if you oba health screening beko so Centenary Hall. Anopa 9 to 12 p.m. You hear a Adventist prayer. Football gala so beko so. And enumere no 95 connect beko so Cloud 95. 14th na ekwesi ada no e Christopher be hiem abompaye. Ama sinfo suman. If you hear beto football games in so. Ewia no. Na enumere 9 no ye curfew and blackout. Mechire wo nhia. Emu na nananom be hia Nyankoma de. E wasene so ne bona so. 15th no efutu akwina be tuntum. Esa traditional day man school swina. Na no panondo no. Ye be konsrahwe wo nuanu aponimu. Old school night be koso enumere no all the pubs. 16 December ye benada no. Nananom be hia na na bona abosomfie aye Nyankoma de. Ye fi hoba okumenini e be bonwa. Ye wi football match no ye beto aso. Na ye the cooking competition so etua to. 17th ye ukuada ne women and children.
Okay. Ebeye butubutu. I started ye butubutu crowd asif for Sudada. Omo edi kan eye candlelight vigil. Mo me hwe how it's going. Okay, and the air cost no. I started gidi crowd. Go so if friend o share nipa our botching ko mo eco vigil na candlelight na to this Charlie and no one ever to us no ebe ye butu crowd. Na synergy ya the next by this time na you was sinful ya the show ni be bread ya for every asinful Devil Grants.
Oh, for that
special event. And we now be hosting our Roots Kitchen. And also so ever possible. Roots Kitchen for say yeah, money now must want to say offer free food for what over to me. Back website and so about show so I be subscribing at the end. What's the chance so we have free food from Roots Kitchen. But sorry, what should we expect next week around this time from Asinfo?
Well, give me the radio culture again. Give me the radio culture. Nice one. If you really understand the word, it is culture. So we are going to give you culture, things that you've never seen before. Already, you're disappointed. Thank you for culture. Iconic funeral. And for those that are disappointed, join us. We are going to give you typical culture. We are going to involve ourselves in education, not mere education per se. People that will give you insight of the reason why things are done and the way forward to what we should expect the next year. And what you can also tell your people that is so Root Kitchen is the place I was saying if it's about this festive season, any the festival and of course you should know sir, always two figures it's not in what we think common. Yeah, link it up over there, not in common any festival. No, me say, maybe they are trying to put out blackout. and the curfew. That is what I'm hoping. Now may expect it. May experience during Massacre Ediano. More Esaga with the Muslims in the way back around 2014 there about 2016 there. And I'm experiencing curfew, they are not and any JPs, after a DTT being more bull. The way experience be that they are, and so I saw the way I am for any so much. And so when it comes to Mamani and Mania, let's put political things aside. What the young family say, and it will say, we deal with tradition. So people should expect something serious. That is
nice one. Nice one. Okay. Yo, Synergy, that was CP for Roots and Culture. That was also for bringing us such a sterling report for today. You better was CP na yede and then do a see her say God willing. Yeah.
Wait, dear Mr. So if you can permit me just 2 minutes of your time, concerning this what issue be Air Force with Abu Trek, I don't know if you've heard about that news. Yes. Quick, my main update people on that and the education side of it. This boy from Israel, popularly known as Abu Treka, but ne running air arrested by the FBI as people are saying. It looks as if the people are disappointed in the government. That then the man in fine. This is the truth, and this is education. I was saying nobody, no foreign country or foreign authority, and that right. So any arrest, a violation of the nation's sovereignty. It doesn't happen like that. Now, a dear, a bit to me, it's based on idea. One is indictment and extradition. Now, the indictment, is the charges that the people coming in to arrest you, the charges vote against you. Into with this, the USA, the FBI, or mobile arrested from the Attorney General's office, USA, and the FBI. They had this indictment about this guy, your friend Abu Treka. And the charges, conspiracy to wire fraud case, and you only laundry case, and Roman scam, and no any the charges are the US Attorney's Office and the FBI holding against Abu Treka. Now, how can this thing be relevant unless a warrant? First of all, it has to pass through the authorities at university. No man will say indictment in all right. So wrapping it up, I want to tell everyone that there is the extradition going on. I call it the arrest of Abu Treka isn't based on any political move, but rather on a legal proceeding that so nobody should say what they don't know. For the purpose of education, get yourself the tradition processes. And two, they didn't do the arrest, but it was the law enforcement in Ghana and the arrest.
There was a coordination.
Yes, it was a collaborative thing, a cooperation between them. And two, before they can hand over Abu Treka to US, unless the court of competent jurisdiction, all the indictment charges, then Ghana Attorney General's Office will also give them the final approval. So that is what we are hoping and hoping about. So this has nothing to do with political thing or a target at youth. But the reality is criminal.
I personally don't even see why anybody would see it as political. Which political party does that guy belong to? I have different issues altogether on this, and I'll spend only like 1 or 2 minutes in front of the time. But quickly, first of all, Oliver Barker-Vormawor, put up a post which I find very interesting. I mean, it's all very issue where I would have.
I even read that post. Yeah.
Then we say But the issue is that Ghana a extradition treaty with the United States.
Yes.
Since the treaty was signed, up to some point, the United States, the United Kingdom, almost decided to say, okay, yeah, those times from when they signed it, they Gold Coast. After Gold Coast, I revised it part of the treaty, to suit them. We haven't done that as Ghana.
Okay.
Since that time, Ghana has deported or extradited at least a dozen people to the United States for different, infractions. The United States has not extradited one single person to Ghana. And no amount for Kanwase. I don't think people give too much of a toss about Abu Trika. He has done what he has done, allegedly, and he's going to face his music alone. I don't care about it at all. But in a broader sense, how come saying we are so quick to extradite ours out, and they are not as quick to extradite theirs in? And no name say Oliver back about our question. Now, my other issue is this. There's a video trending on social media regarding how he was arrested and all of that. And he's, talking to these people, and then there's this guy. Let us take certain things seriously, Synergy. There's something called the Miranda rights. Miranda rights, right there. Anytime any policeman is arresting anybody, they have to read them their Miranda rights. The Miranda rights state clearly said you have the option of getting a lawyer to speak on your behalf. You don't have to say anything, but whatever you say will be used against you in a court of law. That's the Miranda rights. On the contrary, we find somebody who's referring to himself as a lawyer. Let's say video closely. The guy is referring to himself as a lawyer. And yet, he's telling this person, say, you don't have the right to a lawyer. Your lawyer can't answer for you. What type of lawyer is this? That guy is worse than a lawyer, Maurice Hampa. Lawyer Maurice Hampa, in school, or no coordinator with him. It's crazy for a whole qualified lawyer who is working with no mean an institution like the FBI, right? Coming into your country, you are refusing the person their Miranda rights. And even when the person is demanding his Miranda rights, saying that, I will wait for my lawyer, I want my lawyer, wait for my lawyer. Or say, no, your lawyer can't answer for you. Says who? If the lawyer can't answer for you, who can? It's ridiculous. So nobody is a fan of Abu Trika or whatever his name is. To be very honest with you, Synergy, this is the very first time I heard his name. There are certain people who are so active on social media that they know every message that goes on there. I did never hear of anything Abu Trika until now. My first time of hearing about Abu Trika is when he was being arrested. I couldn't give 2 cents of a care about him.
Oh, okay.
If he has defrauded people, you're kind of saying 8 people, and I hear people putting all kind of nonsense arguments about, Abrofunu, they took away our gold and whatnot. Abrofunu gold that Omojifi Ghana, and yet Obiakwa defrauding and they bet in the back. We need a reset of the world order. That's how we are going to get things back. Now, and meanwhile, not all of these people are Abrofo anyway. There are black people here who get defrauded as well. So what's your argument? That's a nipa be yes, I have no sympathies for him. But do it the right way. Read the person their Miranda rights. And then get them, let the person's lawyer come and speak with them. Now, say, the lawyer ain't me kasama. Now, that is wrong. And that is how come sometimes people walk free. They do nonsense, but they walk free because one year, Abu Trika's lawyer can raise that issue. I don't know how far it will go, but they'll raise the issue that you refuse them their Miranda rights. So whatever they may have said at that time, they can say they were put under duress to say that. Because you refuse them their Miranda rights, you refuse them access to their lawyer. That's not right. That's wrong. Anyhow, Synergy, thank you very much. Next week, God willing, we'll meet again.
Well,
you say something?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I just wanted to add a touch on what you just said right now. Now,
1 minute.
The whole thing has to do with the security of officers. I still don't understand one thing. Do they even know the power of social media now? Do they? Okay. You were saying something?
No, I said 1 minute. Wrap it up quickly so we can go.
Okay, yeah. do they even know the power of social media? If they do, then I think certain things and more, they shouldn't do it like the way these so-called boys now, they know nothing of social media would do. When it comes to cyber security, you an officer, you don't question someone and then you go low to video that person. Then at the end of it, that video comes out.
On social
How?
media. That's
So
wrong.
first of all, comes out on social media. How? So you, the said officers, are we saying that you were sellout woman? Because I don't think they knew about this video. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they knew about this video. If they knew about this video,
we don't know where the video came from, so we can only conjecture. But I agree with you. If it came from
definitely,
it's very unprofessional.
It came from inside there. Definitely, the video came from inside there. So the point is, I am sure those that were arrested presently at the house, so who among them?
Let me just another guess. Let me just another guess. If I'm sorry, it could have been maybe they are not a person.
That is a question to ask all.
Yes, it's possible that a person in the house who was not a person of interest, so was not handcuffed. It's possible. If the FBI come into the house and they are coming to arrest people with all the investigations they've done, that's a houseboy, they're in the house, they'll be a hard no, Nadia. Now, they're not going to necessarily handcuff him. On super phone, or bet me a recording. So I'm not going to rush to say that it came from them, but I agree with you. If it did come from them, it's shameful and unprofessional. Let's pick it up next week, Synergy. Thank you very much for arts and culture and for everything else. Next week, as we said, God willing, we will bring you the show from us.
Welcome.
Thank you, my brother. All right, thank you so much. And this is where we bring the show, we bring a close to the show. Thank you very much for joining us for today. Next week, God willing, we will be back with another sterling show. Thank you very much. And as we go, let's end on this one.
Asimaye afasha kasia na ya twen acha no brene ye du tutu kasia afasha 2025 edru ho okumeni ni bafo asarechi ahene otoso mienu ene nananom ewe futu akwa traditional area asinfosu eton safre ye nyina 30th November nananom usinchine so abrede dase na wapeja no 12 December 6th November ye clean up exercise or 12 December no ye nananom muslimifo bedi enu ya bompa ye ewia 12 na ye the candlelight procession ahihye so nimre alongside fire with Jama and Brass Band. Friend number 8, the copy 12 midnight. Asaf companies are who do in our subeshim. Ayamane. Aquaba night Bekoso Casino Pub. Tutukase Marathon Bekoso 13th. And up 5:30. If you have a health screen Bekoso Centenary Hall. And up 9 to 12 p.m. You hear a Adventist prayer. Football gala Bekoso. And a number 95 connect Bekoso Cloud 95. 14th in Equisiadano. A Christophobeshim Abompaye. I'm a sinful sumai. If you have better football games in eso. Ewiano. And a number 9 no ye curfew and blackout. Michelle Wonshia. A Muna Nanumbe Yankuma de awasene yeso ne bonaso 15th no efutu akoyina be yetuntum esa traditional day man schools yina na no panondo no ye be konsrahwe won nuanu aponimu old school night be koso enumre no the pubs 16 December ye benada no nananom be hye ona na bona abosomfie aye Yankuma de ye fi hoba okumenini ebe bonwa ye wi football match no ye beto aso na ye the cooking competition so etuato 17th ye ukuada ne women and children